Maddie and Devin.
Just a couple of failures. Ooh, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special edition of Just Another Failure podcast, because the boys are on the road.
First time on the road.
We are on the road. We are in Idaho.
Idaho. Yeah.
You can say Utah. So
we are in Idaho.
What's the Mormon per capita here? Is it worse or more than Utah?
Oh, it's way less.
Way less?
Way
Okay.
less?
All right.
Thank God.
Oh, phew.
Can't deal with
Scared me a little
Can't
bit
deal with
there.
those Mormon people.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, we are here in Idaho, and we are at our buddies over here at Griptech, and we have our very special guest, Mr. Bam.
Bam.
Bam, what's up, buddy? How's it going?
It is going. You guys swung by the office pretty early this morning. So.
We were going to try to do this later, but, why not just get some coffee in you and get going in the morning, right?
Well, I mean, I would have been down, but I'm going to Oregon to go hunt with Rob, so.
He had he got a little too on the THC sippers last night.
Wait, how long are you going to go up for? How many days?
Till Sunday. I got to be back.
Damn it, I get in on Sunday.
I have the domesticated job life now, so.
Oh, he's killing me. I'm gonna
Hey, that
miss him.
sounds stupid. Why are you doing that?
You should probably say till Monday. I'm just throwing it out there because I get to Rob's on Sunday.
Damn it. I might have to.
Yeah.
He's all damn.
I might have to call in sick from the office.
Dude, he's been showing some monsters out
I
there.
know, he just killed that one with a dropper last night.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, he tagged us in that this
Yeah, he
morning.
tagged me. I wake up to
Dick.
that.
By the way, obviously, what you guys don't know are these two big hunter guys over here.
Big hunter guys.
Big hunting guys.
Yes. Yep.
You can't see it, but I mean, this guy's got his American flag Crocs on, so that should just tell you everything you need to know.
I rock.
I love the fact that
Rock
you
the
wear
Crocs.
Crocs
I rock
everywhere,
the Crocs.
because we were talking about this the other day, and he actually swayed my opinion on Crocs. And now I'm seeing you.
Once you go Croc,
I mean,
I got nothing creative for the other end of that.
You just got to rock.
Once you go Croc,
you just got to rock.
You just gotta rock.
once you go Croc, you always gotta rock.
Dude, I'm telling you, I go to funerals, weddings, business. It
Everything.
doesn't matter. I'm in Crocs.
He's suit and
my
tie,
gosh.
Crocs.
And then if you wear the belligerent American flag ones, people, they don't question it.
You can't not respect
Do you run
that.
the
That's
American
all I'm
flag ones
saying.
at trade shows?
Everywhere.
Oh, man.
Everywhere. It's life, dude.
It's like it's
It's
hard.
life.
It's
Life.
hard not to put respect on the Croc game when you're rocking American flag Crocs. That's just
If
hard
you
to do.
see somebody's level of zero fucks that high,
Yeah.
you know they have nothing to lose.
Nothing. You got nothing for that guy.
Plus,
That guy he's free. That guy's free.
He's free.
I want that much freedom
This
in my
guy
life.
clearly don't give.
Now
a
the wife,
fuck.
on the other hand,
Not a fan of the Crocs, huh?
we just met with a bunch of her clients the other night, and
like fancy dinner?
yeah, I mean, she does real estate, and she's got these big clients in town, and she's like, "You're coming with me." I was like, "All right." So she's like, "Get dressed," and I come walking out with the Crocs, and she's just like, "Absolutely fucking not." And I was like, "You're not gonna win this battle, then I'm not gonna."
He's got a pair of slacks on in the American flag.
She's like, "Jesus, get in the truck." Like, she just knows.
I don't even know what to say to you right now. I don't
She
even
just
know.
knows. Like, I'm like, hey, you know what? If they can't take a joke, then fuck them.
Isn't she still denying that she didn't throw away your best pair
Oh
of
yeah,
Crocs?
we gotta talk about
I was
because,
trying not to rehash some.
but
memories.
he's so deep in the Croc game. Like you had the full insulated like.
We almost got divorced. I had papers drawn up. She threw away
He
my
had the
fleece,
full insulated fleece. Just
blind Crocs.
I didn't even know that was a thing. First off,
exactly.
until you told me about that, I had no
Exactly.
idea.
So to be on that level of Croc game, and so excited to have these things, and I'm not gonna lie, they were a little funky because I never wore socks with them, and they got a little smelly.
They had a little stank on them.
Stank on
They
them.
just disappeared one day, and
Oh,
I tore my
Crocs
house.
just don't disappear.
No,
No.
absolutely.
They don't
not.
get out and walk out by themselves.
No, and I tore
there
my
was a
whole house
motive.
apart. Yeah, and
motive
I
behind
called her out on it, and she denies it. So that's one of those things. She'll be on her deathbed like, "I threw your fucking Crocs away." I'm like, "I knew it. Like,
Come closer. Come closer. What is it, hon? I threw away your shitty Crocs. Fuck you, son of a...
yeah, I know it, but she has been converted by my mother, which is hilarious. Because my mom's been on the Croc game for, I think, since day one. Even when I was knocking the Croc, I was like, Mom, you're heinous. Like, change your shoes. And then I ended up jumping on the bandwagon. But my mom was like, you are not allowed to come back to our house until you have a pair of Crocs. And my mom just ordered something. So Britt put them on, and now she's
a Crocker?
She's a Crocker, but not, she's low-key Crocker.
But Griptech has Crocs.
Crocs has Cryptic.
There
Crocs.
we go. Okay, that's a proper phrase.
Yeah, get it straight, huh?
So they license our pattern, in which that's what I had. I had one of the original fleece line Cryptic Crocs.
Oh, you had OG ones.
OG.
No.
You had the most comfortable invisible Crocs you've ever seen.
You had serial number 1.
You could kick somebody in the face, they'd never see it coming.
They'd be like, "What hit me? What is that? I can't see anything."
You could take
You're
it
like,
off and put it on your hand and smack somebody with it, and they would never see it coming.
And they had the holes drilled through it, so like water drainage, or just super aerodynamic when kicking someone in the face with them.
Super just cuts through the wind. Oh my god!
They were the greatest of all time. Those were the GOAT.
Bruce Lee wish he had them because his kicks would be even gnarlier.
Those were the GOAT. The last thing your face heard on the way by was
yeah, just
here's a goat coming like that.
They actually created the holes just perfect, so it's a goat call on the way.
Before you lose your bottom jaw.
Yeah. Before you just get knocked out cold and you're sleeping going, did a goat just...
She replaced them. So after months of going back and forth through our divorce attorneys and everything.
Mediation
meetings, and that's what she lost during the divorce. She had to replace my Crocs. That's all I wanted.
I love to hear a good ending to a nice story like that, though.
She got the house, bank account, but I got my Crocs
you know what?
replaced.
Joke's on her. You got your Crocs back.
True story.
You ain't coming back in my damn house and get Crocs back on.
Nope.
Well, I think you actually need to, for everybody listening, you need to tell them, what is Cryptech all about?
Oh, so Cryptech. It's so, I don't even know how to explain this guy. So one, we're an outdoor hunting company. We're a camo company. Came up with 2 veterans. They're Army Apache pilots. Great dudes, Josh and Butch. I've known these guys for years. I've actually, before even starting with Cryptech, I've worn their gear for 6-7 years leading into...
Oh, so you're a super fan.
I was a fanboy. I'm a loyal fanboy.
You're a super fan, and you just managed to get a job here.
Yeah, and so exactly. With my organization, they were sponsoring my organization, and it just became like a brotherhood and a family. And one thing led to another, and they were like, "Hey, like we need some help, and come on." And now I'm helping with the tactical side of things here with all of the law enforcement. We do a lot of law enforcement with our tactical line with SWAT teams and a lot of just little. Task force teams and things all over the country, and I mean it's great to be able to build relationships with these captains, these law enforcement, these SWAT officers, and make sure their gear is taken care of and they have everything that they need. And then on top of that, I also help out with the guide and outfitter program, so converting a lot of these guide and outfitters to jump on board with Griptech and to get our gear out there. And Deep Timber Outfitters being one of our newest, and there's a little cheesy plug for him.
Yeah. Hey, no free ads.
There you go, Rob.
Yeah, Rob, we're gonna need a hunt donated just because of that ad plug. So, no, and it's great, and it's a being a vet and coming from the military mindset, and then to be able to transition into a company like this where you could bring your dogs and the kids come by. It's very family oriented.
Yeah, this is a pretty sweet office you guys
got here. Badass.
You guys got some cool stuff in here.
The interior's cool. Like it's this kind of like a lodge looking like outside building that you come in and it's just like this rad, vibrant red signs.
And Josh is the creative mind behind all this. I mean, you guys can't see it in the video, but yeah,
it's invisible. You literally can't. Yeah. There's clothes hanging behind.
I know what you guys are thinking. If you're watching the video, you're like wondering why we have just a blank background. But believe it or not, there's camo back there.
There is camo hanging back there.
It's pretty crazy.
Some of our new camo too. But
didn't Griptech start as a tactical side though, or no military?
And so what had happened is when they first kicked off, it was just kind of a hobby, and it was just 2 buddies that had the love for the outdoors, and they wanted to take it to the next level, and they started creating these patterns, and off of the cami netting, which originally was made to cover our vehicles out in the field, when you're deployed. And so, which me being a tanker, an Amtracker, like we used them a lot. Like I lived under cami netting, so it's funny that I walk into an office and the whole ceilings are covered in it.
Yeah. And that was like the first thing I noticed when I walked in here. I was like, damn, they don't even have ceilings in here.
Yeah, right. It's just infinity.
Yeah.
And so and then it's just
lights
evolved.
Everywhere.
It's evolved into this corporation now. I mean, these guys, for 2 vets that had a dream, and to be able to turn it into such an amazing company. And to be able to provide jobs and then being able to hire vets and keep everything here local and based out of Boise, it's great, man. Like, I absolutely love it.
But you guys have some absolutely legendary people that have been a part of the team. I mean, walk through the office, we see Chris Kyle.
Chris Kyle was boys with these guys. I mean, he actually ran it, and he was a big believer in Griptech. He jumped on in day one, and so to be able to have.
And for everyone who doesn't know, that's American Sniper, the movie.
If you don't know
what that is, I mean,
just literally turn our show off right now. We don't even need to
unsubscribe.
Yeah, unsubscribe.
No, and so
all American badass.
He was, and we have a lot of SF teams, a lot of special forces and tier 1 guys that are running our gear overseas right now, and so it's awesome. It's an honor. I mean, besides this, the hunting side of things, the tactical side is just where we're going with it in the future ahead of us. It's going to be next level. That's awesome. I'm really excited. I'm glad I jumped on when I did, because to be able to help and see the growth that we're projected for the end of this year and then going into next year is just going to be unbelievable. So,
how many years have you been here now at Griptech?
I haven't even been here a whole year.
Okay.
Yeah. So
freshie, huh?
I am. I'm actually the newest employee here, but I mean, I've been, like I said, it was such an easy transition coming from the military side, but also running gear for 6-7 years.
Right.
So it wasn't like this.
It's easy to stand behind something that you actually.
It made it really easy. And honestly, like coming in, they're like, I know all their gear. The only line I just didn't know one line coming in, just because I never could afford it before. But but everything else, like I have, and I've to be able to. So when somebody calls, and it was no different than on social media or even before starting here, people would be like, hey man, like, what do you think of this? And I'd be like, oh, I run this, and this, and I stack it and layer it with this. And so coming in, it was just like first day the phone rings and you're not like, oh shit. Like,
hold on, let me see what,
Griptech, this is
what's the camo called you're running?
Exactly. What pattern are you talking?
You're like, oh yeah, I've been running it for years.
And so it helped. It was an easy transition. And so, it was coming on and helping out with their customer service and kind of coming up with new systems and helping make things run a little bit smoother. And then now really converting these guides and outfitters is like my big goal, and letting them know we're out there. I mean, we're not this giant, we look huge, right? Like we look like this giant corporation, but it's just 2 vets that own this thing.
I mean, being here, it looks official to me.
I mean, we're pretty official.
Looks official to me.
The fact that we're able to do what we do on that scale of just being such a tight knit little, like we don't have these huge marketing teams. We don't have this big accounting teams. Like it's everybody kind of just helps out with everything.
It does feel very like mom and pop here, which is super cool.
It is, and I love it. And it's like everybody just.
Yeah, it seems like everybody just exactly. It's like a little family here, which is sick.
It's awesome, man.
And then you guys just really count on like your customers to like really promote you guys too as well. Yeah, like you guys get a lot of content from customers, people in the field, and that's always like your best report back. Is like people actually using your product.
And that's what I love the most, and especially jumping on with it. Now I get to see from behind the scenes, and how we can help, how we can develop. So one of our big goals for this year is we're bringing in, Rob and a lot of these guys that live in our gear, and they're guiding all year in it. We're going to start bringing these guys in and sitting them down and be like, hey, like what's next? Like, what are you guys looking for? What can we do to make this gear better and develop it? So now that we're not just trying to compete, we are the top dogs, and we're putting out exactly what the guys that are in the field day in and day out are looking for and what they're expecting. And so that's what, like, I'm really excited for the future into that.
Yeah. I mean, I learned about it from Rob when I was up with him at Deep Timber up in Oregon. And I mean, I've been hunting for, like almost 20 years now. That's crazy to think. Like I'm young, but
Matt, why are you saying hunting again?
Hunting.
There it is.
Hunting.
You don't say hunting. Stop trying to be professional.
My bad. Hunting.
Be you. You're hunting.
Be you. Be natural. Man. But dude, I learned about it through him, and it's cool because, like you said, the pattern. It's a unique pattern. You don't see a pattern. It's like almost a honeycomb based pattern style, and. You look at the pattern, you look at the netting on the ceiling, and you can just see it kind of correlate. But the pattern works so well in the wilderness, and I've been out in the wilderness with him shooting photos, and while we're on the hunt, and they're like, holy crap, like this pattern works really good with the trees.
I've set packs down, like when we were doing spot stalks. I do a lot of guiding out in Colorado, and I'll set down something, and I've like turned around after we've spot stalked an animal and been like, fuck.
where'd my stuff go?
Yeah, and then like I'm trying to like
Where'd my stuff go?
retrace my steps like in the CRP or like okay, it looked like we walked, and I spent hours out there looking for a stupid pack that I laid down. Like, damn it, I knew it was right here somewhere. And
It works too good.
He was sitting on it.
Dude, I've laid down jackets before where I was like, shit, like where did we leave that?
Completely invisible.
No, and it's, I mean, sometimes it works a little too well, which you can never complain about unless you lose
awesome,
your gear laying in a field. So,
And I mean, it's not just for hunting either, though, because you guys have been
fishing
in,
line. I mean, we have, you name it, man. I mean, we have it. And so, I mean, we've had our gear run in video. Call of Duty's used our patterns quite a bit. We've been in lots of movies.
is that good? Call of Duty? Is that
That's
like
what
a
I've heard.
big
That's what the kids play. They've got the dances and stuff.
Is that the one all the wives get pissed off at their husbands for
Yeah,
just
right.
being up
Yeah,
all
my
night?
my chick hates when I play it.
God. Dude, I used to be the biggest gamer, which is so hilarious that nobody has ever known this in my entire life. I was the biggest gamer at one point, and I'm talking like 10th prestige, gold guns, everything, right? Like,
Max it out, baby.
Everything was maxed out, and like I'm just murking dudes, right? Then one day, like I swear to God, like I didn't have any hobbies, and at that point in the Marine Corps, I'd just gotten back from my second deployment, and so we had like 4 months off, and I didn't even work, and so I just play video games all day, right? Well, then I like became one of those like video dudes, and I'm sitting there one day, and I'm like looking at my stats, like all my kills and shit. Like
He's checking his
I'm
world
so
rankings.
cool. Yeah, exactly. And it was like it was like 36 days of gameplay, and I'm like,
You're like, oh,
I'm like 36 days of gameplay, like. Oh, between all my games, I'm like, oh, that's not that bad. So I take one out, and I throw the next one in, and it was like 42 days of gameplay. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like 42, 36. And I'm like, and then I like take the next one out. It was like 27 days of gameplay, and I'm like, oh my
video games
god.
for 3.5 months.
I'm like, I'm a fucking loser.
you're like, I have a problem.
I have a problem.
I have
This
a
is an
problem.
addiction. And I'm like, and I turned around and I looked at my couch, and I was like, I've sat in that spot for
There's just an indentation
3 or
of
4
where you
months
sit.
of my
You're-
life playing a video game.
Dude,
I
I
will
can
never
just-
get that. And I turned it off, and I never turned it back on.
Hey, I can just see him just sitting in the couch, like running around. And he's
Dude,
just
I had
like,
my Turtle Beach
Oh,
headset, and I used to give them to my wife, and dude, because I was murking, dude, I'd go on like 30, 40 people's killing sprees, and she'd just be talking shit to all these dudes out there getting like
That's
just,
what I was gonna say. I could just see you being like, headshot, bitch. You
yeah,
just
like,
got on.
yeah, like that asshole throwing knives across the map,
Yeah.
and like, dude, I was that
Tactical
loser,
nuke
so.
incoming, 25
Exactly.
kill streak. Get on the level, boys.
God damn it, Bam! And I'd be like, it's too easy. And then I looked at my gameplay, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I'll never get those days back. Like, and I literally turned my Xbox
Hey,
off.
but
and I
in
never turned
that
it back
gaming community, like you were the boss.
on. Oh, dude.
Just, I mean,
You're El Jefe.
In
Yeah.
that group of kids that I was playing with.
yeah,
I
you were
was-
in against those little
Against those-
14-year-olds.
Yeah, those little sons of bitches.
You were showing those little bitches what's
Yeah,
up.
they didn't stand a chance.
That's
See, and then
incredible.
like you guys game, I never gamed. Like I was never a gamer growing up.
Oh,
so like I
see.
just don't even understand the community. Like that's
it just,
complete like
for me, it just started
that's a
because I had
foreign
nothing
language.
to do, and I just gotten back from deployment, and like,
Could you guys
just
ever
have a-
play on deployment? Did people actually ever play on deployment?
yeah, they did. I wasn't in, but I was never into games until I just really had nothing to do. But we were so busy all the time, like we never had. The only time we'd play was on the ships going from San Diego to Kuwait. You have a lot of downtime, but I usually just worked out. That was my thing, but. Yeah, I mean, it was fucking insane, man. And I was like, and now I see these kids and are streaming it, making money off
Dude,
of it. and I'm-
millions of
I'm
dollars
I
playing this
fucked
game.
up. I
Yeah,
fucked up.
you're like, I should have stayed in
I
it.
should have stayed. I already had the grind, dude.
You could have just put a camera right here and just.
I was talking to some
You
guy
could have
in the
stayed in
sauna.
that couch, dude. You could have put a deeper indent in that couch and just
Dude,
been the
we
man.
literally just had this conversation last night in the sauna. My buddy and I were talking
In the
about.
sauna.
I swear to God. Hey, my work, he's got a buddy that is this gamer, and he like streams videos of him playing, and people donate
Yeah.
to what, and he's explaining this to me, and then there just happened to be this random dude in there on playing a video game on his phone, and he like gets
In the
into our-
sauna?
yeah, in the sauna. And, dude, I'm like dying after like 3 minutes, and they're like dizzy, and this dude's like
He's like, oh, first time in the sauna, you
Yeah.
losers. This is where I do my best work in here.
This is where my
This is
biggest
where-
kill sprees.
Yeah, this is where I really put in my work.
No, but then the guy like puts his phone down, and he's like, "Oh, let me tell you about it," and like goes on like this 10-minute like rant, educating me on how these dudes are making hundreds of thousands of millions off of people donating to like
Dude, it's
Snoop
insane.
Dogg, Odell Beckham. They have these live shows.
Odell
Yeah, they play
Dude,
with
seriously,
celebrities
they
and
get to play with
stuff.
celebrities,
No.
and then you donate to like get shout outs, and I was like, wait a minute.
No,
Like,
dude, people
what a time
literally-
to be alive.
People will literally like donate like $5,000 to these guys.
Wait,
like
wait.
single people, like just one individual will be like, "Oh my god, that was awesome!" Like And like I think you get like tokens basically on
what?
and
Bitcoin.
and that's
Bitcoin?
what yeah.
Bitcoin.
And that's
Go
what I'm
buy your
tripping out on
Lamborghini.
though, is because it's like where do you have
That's
enough money to just like
insane.
throw away $5
Why
grand?
would you, like, in my head, I'm like, why am I going to pay someone like $5
Because
grand?
when you're like him and you got nothing better to do and you're just ripping video. I mean, wait, whoa. He feels.
I got plenty to do now.
Hey,
These guys,
hey, I'm
these
talking-
guys got me working.
I'm talking
All right.
before, all right. But
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just people that like. I mean, that's all they do and that's all they like to do, and it's. I don't know. I mean, if you're into it.
Does Odell Beckham Jr. give like shout outs for getting pooped on his chest?
Yeah, he actually does
did
live
you see
streams.
that?
Heard about that. I didn't look into it, though. I was on a trip, but I just saw like a meme like where those ratchet ass chicks that were on that podcast talking about how
Yeah.
like they like to get shit on and stuff. I was just
No,
like,
he likes to poop on. Like he likes
Yeah,
to be
that's
pooped
it.
on.
He likes to be
dude,
pooped
I
on.
just couldn't. Maybe this is too much of like. But then like my first thought would be like me squatting over a chicken like poop. Like I just couldn't do it. Like
That's
could you
what we were
imagine, like,
talking about. To like, where do you
do you
get to the
start?
point where you're like, you know what?
Yo,
How about
dude.
you try and poop on my chest? How's that sound?
Hey, what are you into? I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
And then it's like, no, you have to tell me now. It's like, can I shit on your chest? Like, how the fuck does it go?
That's what I'm saying.
Where is
Where-
your life?
Yeah.
When you hit that
I
wine
don't
in
even
the
think
road.
I could piss on someone.
Oh, I totally could. Totally could. Like, totally could. Like, 100%.
He's like, I already did it. Yeah,
like 100%. Someone's like, yeah, I'd be like, yeah, I could do that.
I could do that.
Dump on, no.
I don't
dude.
know
I
about
just-
that either. Yeah.
I don't know. That's where I draw the line.
Laying down a stink pickle on someone's chest is where I'm crossing a line that I'm not ready. I can't do it.
Just putting laxatives in your
And
food.
my thing is like
Yeah,
the
you're eating
confidence.
laxatives like, honey, we are about to do it tonight.
Oh God, bro.
Could you imagine?
No, I couldn't imagine, dude.
That'd be insanity.
Nope. Nope.
Man,
That's a hard no.
that's a hard
That's a
no.
hard
It's
no.
gonna be a
for me.
hard pass.
That's
for
a hard
me.
pass.
But I mean, outside of Call of Duty, you guys do have some sick movies that you guys have been in.
Yeah, so we were Fast and the Furious. We were in the Avengers. I believe the Avengers. Maybe not the Avengers. What am I thinking
Expendables?
of? Expendables. That's it. Yeah, we've been
Hey,
in
just
the
say you're on
Jurassic Park.
You're on the.
You were Jurassic
Adventures.
Park?
Jurassic Park. The guys that go into the jungle and they're about to like try to murk the big dinosaur, then they end up getting destroyed. They're in our pattern there. I mean, yeah.
American Sniper.
American Sniper. Yeah, I mean, it's badass to be able to, and a lot of people don't know that. And it's, we were actually supposed to be in a huge TV series this summer they were filming for, but then fucking COVID broke out.
Sick COVID came in.
sucks.
And they
The
canceled-
scam came out, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Then they canceled the series, but hopefully when they relaunch the series, we'll be back in that. But it was going to be a big TV series, and they're going to run all of our gear in it. So
That's rad.
hopefully that kicks back off. But yeah, I mean, it's cool, man. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, yeah, that's rad just to hear about what Griptech is, where it's come from, like how you've come on board. But like you mentioned a couple things while we were talking about that you have a company as well. And then where did you come from coming here? Like where were you at prior to coming to Idaho? And then what's your company? What's your other?
Oh,
you,
so my
you have
organization.
yeah, your organization's cool.
Yeah, so I was stationed in California, and then I started
Russia.
executive security. Yeah, communist Russia. A station there, not from there. And it sucks. You know what sucks is I have a Cali number still on my cell phone because when I joined the Marine Corps is when I got my first cell phone, right?
Yeah.
And I just, okay, cool. It's a 951 number. So now, like when I call
Hey,
people,
that says a lot about you right
Thanks.
there. I'm just kidding.
yeah, you can judge a person by their number because I
Hey,
do.
you're Riverside, bud.
And
Wow.
Riverside, the IE.
You
But,
are 951. I never even realized
Yeah,
that. Wow.
and so I'll call people or like clients or like when I'm guiding, like trying to get on properties, and like nobody answers my phone ever. So I'm like, hey, give me your phone real quick, and I gotta like use clients' phone numbers, like, and then they could be any state besides California, and people pick it right up. Like, you get a phone
Like
call like
California, I'm not
spam,
answering that.
spam, not happening. But yeah, so I started an executive security company, and then during that time, I was able to start my organization, which is Wishes for Warriors, and so at the time when I launched it, it was one of those things where I was like, hey, I want to help out like 4 or 5 guys a year.
Okay.
Cool. Like raise a little money, do a GoFundMe, and just take a couple vets out. These guys, and during that time, there was the days of like these guys just laying in beds at Walter Reed or, coming freshly out of the hospitals with amputees or TBIs and all these injuries and just, even the scars that you don't see just, from PTSD. I just wanted to help a couple guys. And then through just social media and just doing the right thing, it just exploded. And to showing people exactly where their money's going, what programs we're doing, and it just took off. I mean, and then now, you fast forward almost 7 years later, we have, instead of just being an outdoor hunting organization, we have scholarships. We've teamed up with BSU here, and we have a hardship fund to keep veterans in school. The first thing that we saw these guys and girls doing is when they'd fall on hard times with work, or, you know, they start struggling or get behind, they bail.
Yeah.
They back out of school,
Right.
and, you know, the focus on being able to provide for their family. And so then they get into the spiral, and they have to, most of the time they don't want to get back in school because it was already a pain in the ass. And then, you know, so now it's when they fall on hardship times where they either need help keeping, you know, food on the table, or their lights on, or their car breaks down and need help. We have that for them there. And
That's
so there's,
so awesome.
and
That's
the
rad.
alumni at BSU is so veteran friendly, and like they want to help these guys. So we're just like begging, like, please stay in school. So many of these alumni that are now own and have built multi-million-dollar companies, huge companies, they want to hire vets, and they just get
That's
the degree. You know, get the degrees. So that was kind of one of our things, was now that we see this era of pulling these guys out of hospitals or pulling them out of their houses is kind of slowing down. There's still a lot of guys that need help, and we'll never back away from that. But the veteran community is transitioning. It's transitioning. Okay, what's next? Like, okay, we got you out. We got you on your feet. We got that fire spark back in you again. Like, what do you need help with? Is it building your family again, the relationship with your wife, or the relationship with your kids or your husband? Or is it, hey, do you just need to get away with you and your wife, your spouse, and just go? Like,
Right.
just go on this
Clear
trip.
your head a little
Clear
bit.
your head.
Like, get back into normal life, man.
Just normalcy again.
Right.
And then on top of it, it's like, okay, now we're building this network of these businessmen that want to hire veterans, and are now, I mean, we had a vet that we sent on a trip with a sponsor. This is like the ultimate success story. Obviously not, they don't all end like this, but this company is a multi-million-dollar company. Like, it is, the guy he's not struggling.
Okay.
He's doing all right.
He's doing all right.
He's doing all right. He's doing healthy.
Great guy. Anyways, we sent a vet with him. The guy falls in love with the vet. That vet is now training and prepping to take this company over when the guy retires.
No way.
Incredible.
Yes.
No.
And so it's things
way.
like that, is like, it makes it so worth it that this guy that needed help because he was struggling so bad with PTSD or survivor's remorse is now prepping and training to start running this company. So this guy can now step back, and this veteran that went from just being a vet, from struggling to not knowing what's next, now he's like walking.
Now he's
into-
almost like set up. Like,
yeah,
he's,
oh yeah,
he's
absolutely.
good.
And like, and so we'd obviously not to that level with all of them, but we've had so many success stories like that, where these guys go out and they meet, and just being able to network and open our doors to these veterans, and the guys that are doing it right and want the help and take it. Dude, I mean, it's endless opportunities for them.
That's
And
so awesome, though,
so
because it's like these people. I mean, I don't think a lot of people realize, like, these people sacrifice a lot to give everybody here, you know, the freedom to do what they do.
Yep.
And a lot of people just look right past that, and then they come home and they still just get, you know, looked right past again. And it's cool to hear that, like, you are able to help people get back into a normal life of, like I don't even know how to say it, you know, being a normal human again, and kind of just like,
well, in the
because that takes over your
sets you-
whole life being, you know,
The military sets you up for such failure, man. Like, and it's so frustrating for us. I mean, you join as a kid, you're told when to wake up, when to go to chow, when to go to bed, when to wake up, when to go to chow, when to go to
Structured,
bed.
everything's
and,
structured.
And then all of a sudden, then you go to war. And then you're like, how do you prep somebody for that? How do you prep somebody for the mental?
you don't.
You don't, right? And then,
Like, how do you take a kid? You know, like, you're 18 years old. Were you 18 when you went to the Marine
I was
Corps?
18, but I had guys in my platoon that were 17 that their
'cause
parents had signed waivers.
waivers for. Yeah.
And it's like, so these
You're
are
not even an
children.
adult. Yeah, dude.
We can't even fucking drink, and here we are on our way on a ship going to war,
Yeah.
right? So then you go to war, and I mean, everybody experiences and processes everything differently, and then all of a sudden you come back, and it's like, cool, thanks for your time, have a nice life. Like, we taught you how to write a resume, or like, I mean, dude, there's nothing to prepare you. It's like you do this like 2-week course on how to get out, and then you do your final checkout, and it's like, poof, all right, real world.
Yeah, good luck.
And then it's like, now all of a sudden, imagine being a child and you're hidden until you're in your early to mid 20s, and all of a sudden you're just dumped in a city, like, figure it out,
Yeah.
you know? But and it's so, like, obviously, like, it's tough. And a lot of these guys, they just have a hard time with it. So that's where we're now. It's like, okay, before it was get that fire going in them again from being wounded, being injured, losing their best friends, and seeing things. Now it's like, okay, now that we got you up, like here, like run with this. Here's this job opportunity. Here's this scholarship. Here's a chance to be able to build this and grow with it. I mean, we have vets right now that were one of our first original guys. His name's Dominic. He's the one nub wad crusher or something like that on Instagram. Anyways, the dude's a stud, right? Like shredded six pack. I mean, he was one of our very first vets that we helped out. He now has just launched a program with us, which is our outdoor recreational program, where he's now in charge of, and he's running himself, golf clinics, downhill mountain biking. He's planning snowboarding trips, skiing trips. So it's like things like that. And so to be able to see a vet that was part of our program to do a full circle, which is now he's taking guys out.
Right.
Like that to me, like I step back and I'm just like, okay, like
the program's working.
The program's working.
Right.
Like
he went through the process and like he's gotten to the point now where like he's even helping other people out.
And my outdoor, my hunting
full circle.
My outdoor event coordinator, his name's Jesse. He was the same thing. I took him on a bear hunt. It was his first, I think it was one of his first big game hunts he's ever done. We went to Canada. Guy shot a bear, and now he is one of our main employees, like I guess volunteers, we don't pay, but one of our guys that he's now our event program coordinator for anything hunting related, fishing, all of our that program. That's his baby now.
Yeah.
So he's working with outfitters, he's working with vets, he's vetting the guys, he's teaming them up with, other veterans to go on trips. I mean, the guy's killing it. And so these are vets that started as part of the program needing help. Now they're running their own programs.
That's so awesome.
And so, and it's badass, can I bring in civilians and pay these guys to run it? Like, yeah, absolutely. But I don't want that. And I wanted to keep it. I mean, we run our organization out of our house, out of the office. We don't have, some main, people have sponsors that like roll through town. They're like, hey, we're going to swing by your corporate office. We're like,
corporate office. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Like,
that's what we got.
We're like running around picking up kids' toys and shit. I'm like, let's just meet for lunch.
Vacuum over there real quick.
Yeah, exactly. Push a little room.
Breadcrumbs are all over there.
And so, it's cool though to keep it small like that, because like, even though we've grown, and before I was able to go on 99% of the trips, like I've obviously, have had to step back a little bit and focus on family, but bringing these vets in, now they're able to take these guys out. They're going on the trips with them. And it's just great, man. It's awesome to be able to see what I thought would be 4 or 5 guys a year to now doing hundreds of guys through the programs. We have our Wishes for Warmth program, it's just unbelievable. We have these Griptech and Under Armour and these big, large clothing companies. At the end of the year, they have all these returns or things that didn't sell that they need to get rid of or liquidate. They donate them to us. And then we do this campaign, which is our Wishes for Warmth, where if you see a person holding a sign that's I'm a veteran, or if you know that there's some vet down the street that's just struggling or their family struggling, all they have to do during the time when once we get all the gear and we get it all organized, we have a bunch of volunteers come to my house and we organize it all and package it. But all you have to do is send us like a DM or an email like, hey, I think this guy's a large top, large bottom, and we send out. And then we have other companies like Deadeye Outfitters, which is a clothing company out of Reno, actually in Howitzer Clothing, which is a big sponsor of ours. It's actually the guys that own Affliction. They started a new military brand or law enforcement LEO type of brand. And they're donating tons of clothes, and Deadeye's doing socks, and Peak Refuels donating food. So then we're sending literally thousands and thousands of packages all over the country to help provide food, socks, clothes for vets. And then we actually will reach out, or we'll have organizations reach out to us like, hey, we have a large number of homeless veterans in our area, and we'll send, literally, I've loaded up U-Haul trucks and drove them to Portland and back in a day. Literally the biggest U-Haul truck I can rent. Packed it top to bottom, front to back, drove 10 hours to Portland, dumped it off in an organization, was like, good luck, boys, like, hook everybody up, and turned around to turn and burns. I was driving to Phoenix, like, I'm U-Hauls like all night, like falling asleep at the wheel, just to deliver clothes so we could get them to these vets. And it's just things like that, and it's just.
That's rad though, that you're able to help out like so many people. Like
it's awesome, man.
It's cool, like hearing somebody, doing actual good in the world. You know what I mean?
It's awesome. Like we leave, California, Russia, and come up here, and you come to Idaho, and it's like still like a constitutional state. It's still just a lot of people that are very proud to be Americans. That we respect the things that we are given and what we have, and we respect the people that did it for us. And I mean, from Griptech, and then us out in Sun Valley the other day, and hanging out with my buddy at Spear Tactical out there, and he trains a lot of our military, and there's so much stuff that's like pro-military out here that you really respect it. And I think the one thing, like, out of these snowflake generations and everything that's coming out these days and all these sensitive things, like
Matt gets easily triggered when you start throwing around snowflake. Watch, he's gonna get going right now.
God.
But no, I think like the one thing that I think that's really cool that like our generation has started, like you never saw like World War II or Vietnam vets like kind of like collaborate together to do a vet owned company like they do now. And like I remember Black Rifle Coffee, like his whole stance was like, there's a brotherhood that you have in the military that you no longer have once you leave the military. And that was kind of his baseline for when he started Black Rifle, of hiring veterans, is to give them that brotherhood. And like you said, with Wish for Warriors, like you could have civilians run it, but the fact that you can just take talent that you guys already have, you guys have training, you have that brotherhood, you understand how each other speak to, like that's something that's so cool that I think that's the coolest thing with technology and social media these days is it's so much easier for military to connect with each other post-war.
It really is, man. It's if you use social media for the right reason. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel sometimes the veteran community is the most cutthroat community you'll ever work with, because obviously a lot of vets don't like to see vets be successful, and so, which is a shame, man. But you take that Black Rifle mentality, right? Like those guys brought on their own crew, and they're all in the same mindset, and look where it's at now. And that just shows you, like, if you just shut the fuck up and grind and do what your mission and what your business and how you want it to go, dude, you'll be a multi-$100 million company like them. I mean, instead of, just tearing it down or trying to find you weren't an operator, you didn't deploy, you're a and it's like fuck, man, just like that's my thing. And I actually need to start it again. I used to do a small business Sunday post every Sunday on my page, and I'd have all these veteran veteran companies reach out, and I'd be like, yeah, man, like send me whatever, and I'll throw it out there just to do it. And I've helped out. It's just awesome to be able to use a platform like, hey man, this guy's a veteran-owned company, makes holsters or makes wallets or makes bottle breachers. Like my buddy Eli going on Shark Tank. Like, dude, I've known Eli when he was like literally in his garage grinding out these bottle openers out of 50 cal rounds, and to then see him going on the Shark Tank and then to move his company to Arizona, and now it's like the dude's killing it. I'm just like, veterans should be backing that kind of shit instead of like knocking it down. But when they come together, dude, it's the most powerful community that you can ever have on your side, and it is great for the guys that all want to come together. I mean, those are why there's certain guys that are just killing it, because they support each other, they back each other. There's, it's just a mindset. And so some of the guys lose it, but that's why we want to get these guys back out and get that fire going again in them. And so that way they can get motivated and help them start companies or help them start. I mean, I don't know how many vets I've taken on trips that come back and like, hey man, like I want to start my own organization. I'm like, cool. Like, I wouldn't recommend it, but yeah, if you want to, like, here's everywhere where I failed. This is what I've seen succeed for us. Like, so like, here you go, like Godspeed. And, I'm like, hey, if you want us to start a chapter, we'll help you. It'd be much easier than going through the jargons of starting a 501. Yeah. But, it's to be able to see the growth in the support that we get. It's just, dude, it's awesome. Like, I love it.
Yeah, that's rad. Like, I mean, I've seen the cutthroat side too, where like they just go against each other.
It's unfortunate, you know.
My buddy with Praetorian, he does a bunch of like cool like movie prop weapons and stuff like that. Yeah. And then he was doing like the whole Walking Dead baseball bats and stuff like that, where he was like kind of the original guy after it came out with Lucille, and he was doing it. Yeah. And then he was actually trending harder than the Walking Dead on Google. Like when you typed in Lucille, like he was above the Walking Dead. And AMC like reached out and like had a cease and order against him.
They're like, hey, you can't be better than us.
He had to change the name of his bats because they were getting mad that he was like using the same stuff. But he had a lot of other like quote unquote veteran companies trying to do the same exact thing that he was doing. Yeah. But like at a less quality and just totally bashing him against it instead of working together with each other. They were like, "Oh, I'll just do it better and cheaper than you." You know,
I mean, like, it is what it is. That's one downfall of like social media. It takes away the originality, because the second you do it, you have 10 knockoffs of it. So, but I mean, if you just grind hard and you make the best product you can, and it'll always come. You'll always come to the top. You always come out on top, I should say, if you just keep at it. So
you were Marine Corps.
Yes.
How many tours did you do?
I did 2 back-to-back deployments.
Okay.
And so, which was fucking horrible.
Can you say what country you were in? Or not?
Yeah, I did Iraq. I was in the El Anbar province. We did Ramadi, Hoklanda, Sinjik, Barwana. I mean, we did a bunch of shithole cities. It was fun, man. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I had a really good. So like my first deployment, my Marine Corps career was kind of wild. So like half the dudes in my boot camp platoon, my rack mate, that motherfucker, dude. My rack mate, he's this Irish kid. We're the same height. We actually stood on, his name's Chris Reardon, man. And never seen this kid in my life. First day we roll in the Paris Island.
Oh, so that's right, you're East Coast. So
yeah, East Coast. Yeah. It's real Marines. Marines. So we're not these Hollywood Marines. So rolling the Paris Island.
I love the battle between the two of them.
And so there's no battle. They don't stand a chance.
Pendleton.
Those motherfuckers get issued sunglasses and sunscreen, right?
And they get to watch the SeaWorld fireworks show every night.
Every night. Bummer. We're stuck on an island and they tell you there's sharks and alligators, so don't even risk it. And then you're like, no. Anyways, this dude, I'm standing, like, we're on the bus together. We sat together on the bus. We get off the bus. We stand next to each other on the famous yellow footprints outside the doors of Paris Island. And we go in. Dude, that dude and I did almost 8 years together in the Marine Corps.
Gnarly.
Deployed together. We were rack mates, so we went to MCT together. We went to our schools together. We were in the fleet together. I mean, the only thing we weren't is rack mate or roommates in the barracks, but Reber was my roommate, which he was our house mouse, our little scribe at boot camp, and then Trizzle. So there was 4 of us that literally stood on the yellow footprints together and like did our first 4 years together, and then 2 of them got out and Reber and I stayed in and did another 4. But dude, it was fucking insane to be able to have like the camaraderie and the best friends that I did, and to be able to deploy together and come back. Like our unit was so tight when we deployed, because when we got to the fleet, man, this is fucking crazy. We get to the fleet, right? And the war had just kicked off. So I get to the barracks and we're like, oh, we're stationed in Oceanside, California. Like, dude, on the beach, like, right, dude, you're like, life's this is good. It. Life is good. I'm like, oh my God. Like, dude, and then the USO, because, the war just kicked off. So it's big, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's all the money and the funds. And so the USO is like having these concerts every night on the beach. Like the barracks are empty because everyone's literally like doing the push to
They're
Fallujah.
just raging over there.
Everyone's like, yeah, and I'm just like some punk ass kid, like get to the fleet, and like all that's left behind are like the broke dicks, like the dudes that were too busted up to go, or like the short timer, like turds that are getting out and like dodge this deployment. So they're like the coolest dudes in the world because they just don't care. So we're like 17, 18 years old, just raging every night. Like nobody's in charge of us. We're just like,
there's no rules,
dude. What's the movie like Lord of the Flies? Like when they're just running around
they're just
on the island, just torches and like half naked. Like that was us.
You guys have the conch, so you guys rule.
I have a conch, dude. I almost got my ass kicked by my gunny because I had a conch in Hawaii, blowing it on the dude. He was like, I swear to fucking God, like screaming at me. He's like, do it again, I dare you. And I'm in the back formation. Boom. Dude, he come flying through formation. He grabbed me by my throat. He threw the fucking conch off the side of the ship. Dude, I thought he was gonna beat my ass. I was so scared. But anyways,
Full Metal Jacket style with them.
Yeah, we're in the fleet, right? Like Lord of the Flies, like, dude, just raising hell because we had nobody in charge of us. And I'm like calling my boys, like, dude, the Marine Corps is the greatest place ever. like go join the Marine Corps, dude. We just drink. There's women, like we're partying, like, dude, the beaches, there's concerts every night. Little did I know.
And pause.
Yeah, then all hell was going to break loose because now these guys are now like a deployment later coming back, and now they're all these salt dogs, right? Like these guys got fucked up. I mean, it was the first initial like legit battles going on. They were doing Fallujah. It was Baghdad, like all that was going on. Well, we have no idea. Like we're just kids in the Marine Corps. Like this is so great.
So this is early 2000s, like
2004.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming back and like coming off the ships and stuff.
Like,
and you're like,
just fucking.
You look like hell.
Yeah, and then here's all these punk ass kids. They're like, we're fucking Marines. Like, we're so cool and we're hard.
Rah, rah.
Rah, rah, rah. Like, all motivated. Yeah, we're all motivated and like, yeah, guys, we're like high and tight haircuts and like thinking we're this king shit. And then all of a sudden, like, these ships show up off of shore and start unloading like fucking killers, right? Like, dudes that have just been murking motherfuckers in real life. and they were not having it. Like, dude, they were just like, who the fuck are you punks, right?
You guys have been sitting here partying and we're over here doing this?
Dude, then the hazing just begun. It was like, dude, I was like calling him like, I fucked up. Like, I hate the Marine Corps. Like, dude,
you're calling your same buddies, don't join the Marine Corps.
Don't join the Marine Corps, dude. Don't join.
It's so bad.
It was horrible. I don't know what I did. And, dude, and it was hell, bro. Hell. And these dudes, like, were just, I mean, we deserved it because by that point we had like that senioritis feeling, you know, like we're king shit, we're Marines, we're joined during the time of war, even though we haven't even done a field op yet. And then these guys come back legit war dogs and like lost half their unit to a VBID and like a vehicle borne IED. And so we don't know this. Like, we're just kids, you know, like I was just a kid a couple months ago, and it just all hell broke loose. But it brought that camaraderie together. I mean, dude, we'd have like secret knocks because those motherfuckers would just come to our door on like a Thursday night, not knock on your door. You'd open the door, be like, you got duty tomorrow night, 24-hour post. You're like, what? On a Friday?
What do you, no,
so or they just come and kick in your door and beat your ass because they just had like, just because they were seniors and we were these young PFCs and
you were that little bitch partying the other night, weren't you?
Yeah, no, they wouldn't even need an excuse.
No, that wasn't me. That wasn't me. No,
Bam's like, did I go to Rikers or did I go to Iraq?
Like, legit, like they would just knock on your door, open it, and like 4 of these like senior lance corporals that were all assault dogs because they did a deployment would just come beat our asses. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on?
You're laying in bed after just getting your ass beat. You're like, what? Hello?
And like nobody would even say anything. We just like blink, 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 blink. Like
they're knocking on your neighbor's door. Like, did they just beat your ass too, or what?
Oh no, they said last night when they beat our ass, they're gonna beat your ass tonight.
Yeah, they said you were next.
You knew last night.
Yeah,
you knew last night.
You couldn't help a brother out and let me know,
dude. So like then it went from like the greatest thing ever, like join the Marine Corps, to like, oh my god, how do I get out of here? And then it was like a year of just holy hell, being hazed dude, I say the new Corps, which is so funny because like I was the new Corps when I was in, but I mean, we were the last phase of like being able to legitimately like get hazed and just make your life a living hell. But it built a camaraderie. Like, we had the tightest unit. And nowadays, man, like when I became an instructor and I had my troops, like you couldn't even yell at them to run because they'd like go on to talk to the chaplain. And so, but like these motherfuckers would have us field daying, right? Like we were on the 3rd deck of the barracks on the 3rd floor, and they had Chinese field day, which you would have to take everything out of your barracks room. I'm talking your bed, the frames, which are these giant steel framed beds.
Who built these things?
Your wall locker that is made out of solid oak. I don't even think we had mini fridges when we were troops, but everything, dude.
It's like the closet that goes to Narnia.
Yeah, for real. And we'd have to build our rooms on the basketball court.
You had to take everything out and then like rebuild your whole room.
From the 3rd deck. And the
guys on the 1st floor are like, sucks to suck.
Oh no, yeah, because the guys on the 1st floor are like already done a deployment. They're like, fucking boots. Like, look at these idiots. Like sitting there drinking their beer and like we're just like carrying your wall lockers down. Like,
it's so heavy.
Yeah, and dude, we'd be up till 2 or 3 in the morning, and they would have us scrubbing square by square tile floors. Like, okay, you got 30 seconds to run up there and scrub it, and your roommate would run up there, scrub it, run back down. Then I'd have to run up there and wipe it, and then run back down in like 30 seconds. And you never made it. Like, you never made it. Like,
you're like sitting there, like, I hate to break it to you guys, but there's a much easier way to clean these.
So. He's one of my best friends today. He lives up in Coeur d'Alene. He's in northern Idaho now. The dude's super successful. We did 2 deployments together. We actually lived on the same vehicle for like 9 months together. His name's Aaron Botenhagen. He's an engineer, architect now. The dude's like one of the success stories, right? Anyways, he's just that fucking nerd. Like none of us liked him really. Like when we were troops, and we're in formation, and this dude has the nerve to like say, and we come running back down, and they're like, "You didn't make it, piece of shit." And he's like, they're like, and he goes, "Actually, Corporal, by my calculations, we had 6 seconds." And he's like, dude, and we're all like, "Shut the fuck up." You're like,
no.
We're like, shut it. Oh my God. By your calculations. And dude, this
guy was like, God. By your calculations.
Yeah, man. And we're like, "Aaron, shut up." He was like that guy that had all the knowledge, but he was timing it because like, "Actually, by my calculations."
He had the calculator watch on. He's like, "Well, judging by my pace, running 300 feet per millisecond."
That is Aaron.
The square root by pi.
Well, my calculations.
I went up 4 steps a second, so judging by your calculations, sir.
That's exactly it.
That's
and so,
awesome.
Just things like that. But that build the camaraderie, man. And now it's just we were so tight, and then to be able to deploy together. I mean, dude, we did so much fucking just dumb shit on deployment, and like even building up to deployment. And I mean, it was the greatest brotherhood anybody can ever ask for. And because of that, and like during that time when it was literally the worst thing that I've ever experienced. I mean, dudes were going UA, like just gone, disappearing, gone, walking. Like we were getting, it was so
just
bad.
AWOL.
The barracks were so bad at one point. We were getting piss tested 3 to 4 times a day. We weren't even going to work. They would wake us up in the morning, march us. No, this is legit.
Just drinking water. It's like just drinking water.
We're marching with a gallon of water. Everybody either had a Camelback or a fucking gallon of water. They would wake us up, march us to chow. Then from chow straight to the company office, we would piss and we would sit there. And then we'd go to afternoon chow and we would sometimes piss before afternoon chow. They would march us to chow in the afternoon, fill our water sources up, come back to the company office, sit in the bleachers all day. We would piss before we'd get off work, and we'd piss in the evening.
You're like, how? Why are we doing this piss test? I don't even have enough time to do anything in between.
Guys were popping, dude. So when everybody was gone, like nobody was looking out after us. So like dudes were just like doing coke and smoking. Like the barracks were insane, bro. Like they had chop shops. Dudes were going around down
chop shop.
Legit, like dudes were going around.
Hey, quarter leg holes, I got this 96
No, I'm not
Hummer.
kidding, bro. Guys were going around because everyone's deployed. So like all of Del Mar was like a ghost town. So dudes just like left motorcycles and cars in parking lots, right? Like, oh, I'll be back. It's just gonna. Dudes were like dragging these things, and they were breaking into because the barracks were empty, right? Like there was only like 2 platoons, and they had like those barracks could hold I think like 10. And so dudes were like jimmying open doors, and they were having chop shops. Then this other dude got caught with a freaking black market venomous snake tarantula. Like he was breeding
like full black market like
pet store in the freaking barrack. No, I'm not, dude. This is legit shit.
We had Jay Prehistoric in the military just running underground.
This dude had like he was like going out in like the training areas,
slanging tarantulas.
No, he was going out in the training areas and catching rattlesnakes. He was like breeding all this shit and like.
You guys need a viper? I got a viper. I got a black mamba.
This dude had it all. He had it like, dude, he had it all. And it was just insane, man. Like it was out of control. And the guys, and then we start doing these piss tests, and like guys are popping like every week. Every week there's like just like 3 or 4 guys popping. So it got to the point where like we're monitored. Like we can't even let you guys out of. This wasn't really my platoon because we were already like in the workups, the getting ready to deploy. But like all these other guys that didn't make it to our platoon, dude, it was just like it was a free for all. And bro, it was wild times. Like we were literally piss testing 3 to 4 times a day. We had no life. I mean, it was so miserable. We were praying like, just send us to war. Like
just send us to war.
It could not be worse than this. Like it was just. I mean, bro, they would come knock on your door at 10:30 at night and like, oh, you're drinking? Fuck, let's go, and snatch you up. Like I mean, it was just insane, man. What we were doing, and guys were. Oh, you'd go to somebody's door, they'd open up, and just a cloud of fucking smoke would roll out of the room. They'd just be smoking weed in their barracks. There was no leadership. Everybody was deployed, man. Like, except for our platoon.
What are you doing?
Seriously,
here,
guys were out in the field, like doing lines of coke inside like the plenums of their vehicles, and they were popping on piss tests. And they're like, I don't give a fuck. I'm getting out anyways. Like, it was such a no fucks attitude when I hit the Marine Corps, and then it just like all hell broke loose. Like obviously when it came back, and then all the seniors came back, dude, it was wild.
Wouldn't that still be like a dishonorable discharge, right? If you got caught doing drugs.
But then, dude, they needed numbers, and so what they were doing is they were just hammering dudes, busting them all the way down the private, and then putting them in the next platoon that's deploying and getting one more deployment out of them.
Oh my god!
But some guys were so bad. I'll never forget this guy. He popped so many times. He was literally popping every single week. He just didn't care. They had a battalion formation. You're talking thousands of Marines, at least high 900s of Marines, right? Like hundreds and hundreds of Marines across the whole entire grinder, which is like the parade deck where we march and do ceremonies and shit. They marched this guy out in front of the whole entire battalion. They about-faced, the battalion commander about-faced the whole battalion, so every platoon one at a time, about-faced. We turned our backs on this guy, and they ripped his name tags off of him with a pair of like the Gerbers, you know? They ripped the USMC, ripped his name tags off of him. And, well, they ripped it off first, about-faced the whole battalion, and the last thing we heard was, get this piece of shit out of my battalion, and we never saw him again.
Whoa.
Yeah. Like guys were going to the brig every other day. Like, dude, it's called a chaser when you have to like go and you have to get this certification how to handcuff people so you can go and transport people from the brig or to court when dude, they didn't even have enough chasers. They were like, bam, you're a chaser. I'm like, the fuck's a chaser? Like, just if the guy runs, beat him up and just grab him and don't let him get away. I'm like, dude, I'm like a private. What the fuck? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, there were so many people going to the brig and
here's
popping on Pis
a
Test,
SEAL club and a crowbar.
Dude, it was wild. Like,
you're like,
it was wild
are you
times.
sure? Like, this is for real? This is what we do here?
Dude, the Marine Corps during that phase was the wildest shit I've ever dealt with in my life.
insane.
Like, dude, I'm gonna write a book one day, and I have all my buddies. We're gonna sit down and write a book like what it was like to join during that transition age, because like literally it was everybody that was either broken that couldn't deploy, pieces of shit that didn't want to deploy, or guys that were like getting kicked out.
Just
like,
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
was who when we got to the fleet who was in charge of us for like 7 months. So imagine like the biggest piece of shit getting this boot drop with all these young Marines that are so moldable, and they're like wearing flip-flops to work every day and like fuck it, like no haircuts, and then the other war dogs get back and here's all these turd little Marines running around. They're like, no, like this is gonna
This
end right
is
now.
not how we're gonna do
Bunch
this.
of beach boys just hanging
That's
out.
what we were, dude. We just all had surfboards. We used to go surfing every day. Like, and we're like,
They're showing up and you're like, what's up,
What's up, dude? What's up, dude? Like,
dude?
where
Hey,
you guys
look
from?
like hell, dude.
Exactly. They're like, yeah, you're about
They're
to
like,
be in
I'm
hell.
literally gonna kick your ass.
You're-
right
I did.
now.
I got a bunch of fist fights.
You're 21. You look like you're 45.
Yeah, like, God damn, how old are you? They're like, I was you last year. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, I remember surfing every day too, and then they put me on this ship.
What happened to you? I was in the suck. And you're like, oh, God.
Oh
No.
Jesus!
Is this my future?
I'm supposed to go there next week.
Yeah,
Is this that
man.
bad?
This
Marine
was
Corps
fun
wild
until now.
times. It was wild times, dude. Like,
So you get deployed, and I mean, like, what was that like
it
going
was
over there?
fucking so, it was so dumb.
It was so dumb.
We didn't even know what we were doing half the time. And then, like, so we do our whole workups as mechanized, right? Because we're in a tracked vehicle, the amphibious assault vehicles. So it's like, I'm a crew chief, like, cool, I know my vehicle, I know how to operate my section, like, dude, I'm a kid, right? They're like, okay, here's this 27-ton vehicle with machine guns, and you're like 19 years old. Here you go.
Here's the keys, bud.
And I'm like, let's full
Oh,
send.
you're like, so are we gonna just rip this thing,
Yeah,
guys,
so,
or
like-
hop on the machine gun? Let's see what it does.
You know I'm gonna
could I just
send it.
shoot everything? Like, what's going on? So then we get to Iraq.
I shoot every.
So what can't I shoot? Or run over.
What's off limits,
Yeah, what's
yeah.
off limits? Can you like laser tag it? And I just won't light it up. No. And then like we get to Iraq, right? And they're just like, hey, change of plans. Bam. You're a squad leader. I'm like, what the fuck is a squad leader? Like, they're like, here's your 8 guys. Like, here's a map and some pens. Like, go kick indoors. And we're like, the what? Like, what? Like,
Like,
no.
no. I want to. I want to.
OTJ, dude,
I'm trying to-
on-the-job training.
I'm
No,
trying
no,
to
no.
4x4 the sick
Yeah.
vehicle. My
Like,
buddies are gonna shoot some
Do you,
stuff.
you see that tank sitting back there? Like, that's got my food in it. Like I, don't
I already
have to
spray
walk.
painted my name down the side of
Yeah,
this thing.
I don't have to walk. Like, that's the only reason I did it. So I do not have to walk. Now I'm walking and kicking indoors. This is fucking horse shit. Like, this was not in my contract. No, but
I did not sign up for this.
I'm
Dude,
not a walker. I
it
am
was just-
not a walker.
it was just, I mean, honestly, man, like, it was a good time. Like, I really enjoyed it. And being deployed with my, like, the group and the core of guys that we did, I mean, bro, it was just fun, man. Like, I would have stayed in if I could have just been deployed. But, like, I was that Marine, like, back in the rear, like, was not meant for me. Like, I was not a political guy. And I picked up E6 really fast. And as the more rank you pick up, the more of a political game it becomes, you know?
Right.
And I was that leader, and I was that staff sergeant that would be like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we wouldn't have students. Because I finished out as an instructor. I had my own team, and we taught officers and young Marines. And dude, if we didn't have students, I'd look at these other staff NCOs, and they would have their guys work until 4 or 5 o'clock every day. I'd look at my guys and be like, hey, lock the vehicles up, get out of here, turn your phones off, don't answer them.
Yeah.
And then I'd get my ass shoot. Like, where the fuck are your guys? I'd be like, I cut them out. Like, we got nothing going on. So like, I had such good dudes.
You're like, I'm trying to go home too.
I'm trying to get out of here and go play Call of Duty, bro. Like, you know,
Fuck,
I am
fuck the real stuff. I'm gonna go. I can respawn, dude.
I got prestige. I'm
Yeah.
already prestige.
I got
Like,
gold guns. You guys got gold guns here? No.
Yeah.
I'm on day 23, all right?
No, and so, you know, and it was
I
great.
called in an airstrike on the game. I've never been able to do that here.
Where's that in real life? That's horse
You guys
shit.
told me I can't do that here.
You can't do anything. They take the fun out of it. But no, it was
Bullshit.
a really good time, man. Like, and just the adventure and the stories. Like, I mean, where else as a kid do you have to burn your own shit, right? Like, we get to Iraq, my buddy Aaron, his vehicle goes down, and he's living on my vehicle now. So we're running this vehicle control point, where every vehicle that comes in and out of this city has to come through us, which is kind of sketch because, you know, they have vehicle-borne IDs, and we're scanning every vehicle to see if they have shit hidden in their doors or trunks or just.
That has to be gnarly.
Yeah,
it is, dude.
That's super gnarly.
Like the IED stuff is like super.
That's
gnarly.
honestly like the scariest part of it. Like you'd go to like cross a bridge and there'd be holes the size of like just trash cans, like all line the roads and shit. And you just pucker every time. So then we get tasked this job. We have to start searching every vehicle that's coming in and out. And while we're living out in this, we're literally living out of our vehicles in the middle of the desert on this highway. Like we burn down the middle of the highway, and dude, so then we have to burn our shit, right? And it's like, this isn't in the fucking fine print when you sign a contract that you're gonna have to be burning shit from sun up to sundown. That's just, dude, when you're living out of your vehicles. It honestly is not bad. You stand up wind from it. It's like it's just a diesel fume mixed with a little bit of poo, but when it burns, it's actually not as bad. But
how many times does someone stand down when you learn how many hazes did that happen?
I'll get there.
Hey, he's like to the point where he's like, I got so used to it. Honestly, I got a candle at home, and I just burn it every now and then. You know, it's like it's not too bad.
It's new Sensi corporates right across the street. So yeah, they're right down the road. So we'll have the Iraq scented ones. And so no, dude. So it's
like the Africa scented ones.
This is just life for us, right? Like this is just life. Like like the barrel fills up, and it's literally a 50-gallon barrel cut like down to a quarter of it, and you slide it under this makeshift little wooden plank that you sit on, and literally when we were kicking indoors, like we were searching not even for like weapons or for people. Bathrooms. We're searching
where's
for
the toilet paper?
Seats. No, toilet seats, bro. They don't have toilet seats over there. Dude, motherfuckers were stealing toilet seats outside of vehicles and stuff. Like you had to chain your toilet seat to your vehicle because it was such like, dude, it was, oh my God, to sit on a toilet seat.
You got a guy with a chest rig with just a toilet seat.
That was just like an amazing day when you're like, oh my God, these cheeks are touching a nice white toilet seat. I shit in a lard can. I found this, it was literally a lard can, and it was huge, but it had this sharp ass edge. So I got foam from our Mark 19, the grenade launcher. It comes like the grenades come packed in foam. We literally cut the foam and like duct taped it, and you'd have to put like a plastic bag to shit in the box because I wanted to like preserve this thing, or you'd shit in an ammo can, like just stuff like that, right? Then you find a toilet seat. That was like the holy grail. Like, yeah, that's like Tempur-Pedic.
Dudes were like, yo, bro, like I got this wad of dinar, like Iraq money. Like, I'll trade you this plus my PSP. And then dude, like
they're slanging shit just for a toilet seat.
Like, dude, I'll do your next 3 nights watch. Like, I'll stand your next 3-night post, dude. Like, give me your toilet seat.
I'll do whatever I gotta do, man. Just let me shit on a toilet seat.
For a toilet seat, bro. Like, that's the struggle.
That is so
These
gnarly,
motherfuckers
dude.
over there now have their own rooms and shit. Like, dude, get out of here. But anyways, we find this toilet seat. And we build this toilet, and it's like, dude, it's like the holy grail, right? Like we almost put like a watch, like an armed watch on this thing. Like, you better clean your shit up in there. Like, dude,
nobody gets near this
thing. You have no idea what the luxury just to take a shit on a toilet seat. So then we get these female Marines, right? And keep in mind, we're just operating out of our vehicles. We have triple strand concertina wire, like the razor wire around like this wagon wheel of vehicles out in the middle of the desert, on this highway checking vehicles all day. And so then these female Marines were like, hey, like we want to leave the wire and leave the base and come out with you. Well, we kind of needed them because when people would come through, they'd come through with families. In, you know, the Iraq culture, we could not even acknowledge, talk to, look, touch, search, no females or kids, right? That was just part of our protocol. So we're like, yeah, we could actually use you to come out and search the females, because we built this whole entire compound, little barracks or barricade with the concrete walls, just for they'd have their own privacy while being searched. So they show up, and I'm
like, you guys are animals.
Yeah.
Not yet. They're like, this is so cool. Like, but every day they'd come get picked up, and they got to go back to the fob where they had showers and hot chow and sat phones, and we're just. You
guys are just smelling like sweaty balls,
dude, and this is where I went 72 days without a fucking shower because we were just working. We'd patrol all day, and then we were building this compound out in the desert, right? So we would patrol all day. You were on watch, and then at night you were filling sandbags until pretty much the sun would come up. You'd sleep for maybe an hour or nap whenever you could. But anyways, we build this compound. The female Marines want to come out.
So you guys just don't do the 8 to 5 thing over there?
God, no. Maybe some people do. So these Marines get dropped off in the morning before we open up the compound or the entrance control, the vehicle control point. Well, I told them, I go, listen. Then they ended up eventually bringing out vehicles that they were staying with us. I go, listen, we're going to build you your own 2 shitters. I go, I'm telling their staff sergeant this. I go, you girls need to piss in one and shit in the other. Like, this is reality, right, of being deployed in Iraq during this time. And I go, listen, piss in one, shit in the other. Piss in one, shit in
You
the
guys
other.
are going to learn.
And
Listen to me.
I go, I want you to say it. Like, I want to hear this. And she's like, okay, like the left will be pissing, the right will be shitting. Okay, cool. Like 5 days go by. Time to fucking burn shit.
Burn shit.
All right, ladies, like, let's go. And they're like, let's go where? I'm like, you need to burn your shit. They're like, what do you mean we need to burn our shit? And I'm like, what do
you gonna learn today?
No, and I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean we got to burn our shit? Like, wait, you think we're going to burn your shit? And they're like, that's not part of our job. And I was like,
that's not part of our jobs either.
I go, and this is a staff sergeant. I go, listen to me, staff sergeant. I don't give a fuck what you think it is. My guys are not burning your shit. Like, it's not going to happen.
That's not
and she's
how
like,
it works.
She goes, first off, you're not going to talk to me like that. I was like, pause. And I was my lieutenant's driver, so I kind of had that in, you know? And I go over to my lieutenant. I'm like, sir, the women are refusing to burn their shit. So he comes over there. Hey, he's got to chew the staff sergeant's ass. We make them back up. They did not piss in one, shit in the other. They pissed and shit in both. So now I have 2 half 50-gallon barrels of chili. Dude, like legit.
Oh my God.
High school chili. Like greasy, you know, like the
Thank
red.
God it wasn't hot chili day.
Dude.
Oh my God.
A lot of corn.
And we're staring at this like, no way. There's no way. Like, so we had pipes in the ground. We literally have to dig these holes and put PVC pipes in the ground, and you piss in the pipe and it goes and it seeps into the ground. Like, that's what we have to piss in, and then you go take a shit.
Dude.
So the science of burning your shit is you're not actually burning the shit. You're boiling the moisture out of it, and it just turns to like an ash, and then you just go dump it in a pit, right? Like, that's the end product, is like to have this like pile of ash.
It's just stinky butthole ash.
Exactly. So now you have to picture this two giant bowls of chili that you have to burn the moisture out of. So, dude,
my God.
then we're like, you're just, so there's like this PFC or Lance Corporal female. I'm like, listen, get that diesel jug and just dump a fuck ton of diesel in it and just light it. And she's like, okay. So she's pouring it. She's spilling it everywhere because she can't pick the 5 gallons up, and it's dumping all over her. It's everywhere. So we have to like help her. And
You're
so
you're going to light yourself on fire.
yeah. I'm like, okay, light it. And she's like trying to throw a match. And I'm like, it's diesel. It doesn't explode. Like, you got to put the match in and light it. Well, there's a science to turning your shit. And so we had these engineer stakes or fence posts, right?
Yeah.
Like, they have the groove in them.
Yeah.
Well, groove up every time. So I'm like, okay, like, you got to stir it. I'm like, just put that thing in there and just use the edge of the bucket and roll over the shit. Well, she was grooved down. This flaming ball of shit flame and everything else.
Oh my God.
Travels, and she's holding the end of it like this, and she peels it, and this ball of flaming shit comes up the groove and hits this chick dead in her face, singes all of her hair, singes her eyebrows, eyelashes, and we're crying like hysterically.
You just got your eyebrows burned off by a poopy flame.
Hardcore people.
Ew, dude.
Hardcore. So she just loses it. Like, I'm fucking done. Fuck that. Dude loses
You're like,
it.
welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.
Welcome to the suck. Like, you guys wanted to leave your cush little fob. Like, you might want to go back. Dude, they were there for 15 hours. It was so bad. So we started at dark in the morning. Yeah. It is now dark at night, and they're still burning theirs. Where we had to we put 3 of our barrels together and make like a triangle. We slid the engineer stakes through their barrel and picked them up and filled our barrels with diesel. And now we're boiling theirs. We put their barrel on top of ours just to boil it.
Just a cauldron of just bubbly poop.
Well, and they never caught on that the vehicle that was parked right there, our diesel cans were full the whole day. Like, we never had to go anywhere. We're like, oh, like, you guys got to use that vehicle, which was like 300 yards away.
Oh my God.
Dude, and they're dragging. They had to take their belts off and drag these diesel cans. Like, dude, there's like 3 of them trying to carry 1 can, and they never were like, where do you guys get your fuel? Not once in like 15 hours. We're like, wait, you guys have never walked over there.
Yeah, we've never seen you go over there. How are you guys doing yours?
Bam's like, I'm in Iraq. I just have a little picket in the ground right here.
It's like a water pump coming out of the ground.
It's like, you guys look stupid.
But they just, every time they'd go to get fuel, we would just fill ours up real quick. And we just sat there all day. And it was like to us, when it was shit burning day, that was like your down day. We're like, oh yeah, like
that was like putting TV on. You're like, here we go.
We'll
Let's
burn
watch
shit all
it.
day. We'll burn shit all day. Like
They're dragging the can across the sand.
Dude,
you're like,
there was a trench. By the end of the day, there was a trench through the desert where they were dragging this can of this 5-gallon bucket. There was like a path through the.
You're looking at them like, oh man, it looks tough, dude. That sucks.
Dude, yeah,
man.
we're like
commentating over in the
You
background.
girls need a hand, like yeah, because we didn't want them there. You know, they were pointless to have out with us, and so they were there.
They were pointless.
They were there for the first 5 days until they had to burn their shit, and they went back to the fob and never came back.
They're like, that's a hard nope.
Those are gorillas that literally.
So you guys
live.
were out there for like days, just
Months,
no,
and then,
but
yeah.
like no showers, no nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
no, we.
dude,
Dude,
you guys were smelling like real sweaty balls.
I smelled so bad at one point, even with baby wipes, right?
That's what you're.
Oh, you guys got baby wipes?
Yeah, we didn't. We'd go back to the fob to resupply, and the chaplain, people were sending the battalion chaplain packages. We would run to his office at dark. It'd be like 2 a.m. We'd come back and resupply or just fuel or whatever. We would run to the chaplain's office. And he'd leave cases of shit out front, and we would we called it rat fucking, and just you'd go through it and just find baby wipes, like anything, chapstick, and we'd jump in our vehicles and go right back out. Like then or if my lieutenant had like a brief, and he would be debriefing like what was going on with all the other officers, and we would be like running around the fob, like grabbing like cinnamon rolls and like those Otis Spunkmeyer blueberry muffins. We're just like stocking up on shit.
Famous Amos cookies. You're like, let's go.
Seriously, like, and then we would bring our cook with us. We had a combat cook with us, and he would like be able to get into the chow hall, and he'd run out to the back like little lot where they'd have shit. He was like be hurling boxes of like
Doritos,
Dude,
top ramen.
No, bro, he threw these cases of the snack packs, the little chocolate snack pack, you know. Oh my god, dude, that was so good.
Crazy.
But he's throwing them over the fence. We'd just be loading them in Humvees really quick and like bailing out of there, and we'd just be like, we'd literally like
take off,
like rape and pillage like our fobs and and so. But that's what it's like. Yeah, we'd be. But I stunk so bad at one point. I had to sleep with my arms on the outside of my sleeping bag. Like you were such a funk,
dude.
Like the funk was so bad. I mean, 75 days was my longest stint that I went without a shower.
That's so gross. But it sounds like the boys may have needed
Some little manscaped
ball deodorant. Maybe you wouldn't be smelling like
That's
balls.
what you guys really needed out there in the field.
Yeah, if that existed when we were there, I'm sure we would have been sending an email. Actually, then it was a letter.
Letter, yeah.
We used to get letters.
Snail mail.
I used to write letters home. Like, can you imagine that now? Now it's like these guys.
The boys
I would have been writing Manscaped like, yo, balls stink. I need a razor because my bush is out of control. Like,
that's what I was about to say. You guys probably would have loved the new lawnmower 3.0 too, because that's got everything you guys need. That's like Manscaped needs to hook these guys up with a perfect package.
Let me smell that.
The perfect package 3.0, dude.
Could you imagine if you had that for your balls?
My,
yeah,
that actually smells legit.
If you put that on the old balls, you guys wouldn't have been hating life so much. Probably you would have been able to slide in the sleeping bag and been good.
Dude, it was brutal. If we could have used what did you call it? The lawnmower or
the lawnmower 3.0? Yeah, that's their new trimmer, dude.
We went like 3 months without getting haircuts over there because we were just operating. We never worked out of a fob. We literally lived out of our vehicles the whole time, and it got so bad we'd go back to resupply and we get our ass chewed. Like we'd have like beards and like we look like legit like SF operators, right? So some people would question it and some would just look at us like, yeah, those dudes. Like, and we weren't at all by any means.
Those dudes are literally just burning poop in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, we were just covered in shit. And so we'd come back and they made us get haircuts. It was almost, I swear to Christ, bro, we were borderline almost dreadlock in some spots. Like it would clog the freaking trimmers, and it pretty much ripped your hair out. It was horrible. Yeah,
see, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, Manscaped needs to get on the boys that are deployed right now. That's for sure.
But Manscaped is number one in below the belt trimming. So the boys overseas could definitely used it. But it's more for downstairs grooming. It does all the you don't want to be a fool and use the same trimmer you're using on your balls on your face, because that's just weird.
I do it all the time.
Come over to step into the Manscaped game.
I need to.
Step into the Manscaped game.
In the Manscaped
you can go get the new Perfect Package 3.0 kit. Comes with the new Lawnmower 3.0 with skin safe technology, so you ain't nicking the balls downstairs. There's no nicking going on, right?
Get some crop preserver in there.
Yep, you get the crop preserver, which is it's a nice ball deodorant. It comes with the ball reviver.
What is a ball deodorant? Explain that to me.
So
I mean, you know what deodorant is? You put on your armpits.
Yeah.
Same concept, just on your balls.
Interesting.
And it prevents the dries of your genital skin from chafing.
Yeah.
I mean, how was your
chafer?
How was your chafing in Iraq?
It wasn't too, honestly, it wasn't bad because we wore silkies, like our military underwear were silkies. But like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I got thick thigh problems. I got little bird calves.
Just the thick thigh.
I got thick thighs too. You know, thick thighs save lives. You know.
They do.
But dude, they have a ball reviver too, which is also like an anti-chafer. So you spray that on there, a little ball deodorant. You smell good. You ain't chafing. And the balls are clean with the Lawnmower 3.0.
I am in.
And if you get the Perfect Package 3.0, it even comes with a sick little travel bag so you can keep all your goodies together.
And it comes with a ball mat where you can stand on, so it collects all your ball hair.
So you're not throwing your ball hair everywhere.
When you said ball mat, I instantly thought of like you just like on the counter and you just put the mat down and
right
just like you put your balls on the mat, like it just that's the first thing that came to my mind.
Manscaped, maybe we need a ball counter mat where you just slap your balls on the counter.
It's not cold. See, you know when you put your balls together, it's freezing.
Yeah, it's like a heated pad that you put your balls on.
You warm it up first and
let your balls re-drop, let them come back out of your stomach.
Yeah.
There you go, bro.
But you guys, I mean, they need to head to Manscaped right now and go order the Perfect Package 3.0. If you go hit it up right now, it's normally $157 value, but they're running a deal on the website. It's $89 for the Perfect Package 3.0. But if you use the code FAIL at checkout, you'll get 20% off and free shipping. So that comes out to about $72 for the best male grooming kit in the game.
Boom.
So head to manscaped.com and use promo code FAIL. And guess what? Your balls are going to thank you.
And maybe Wish for Warriors, you guys could do like a Manscaped gift package to the boys over overseas.
We need to talk.
Yeah. We need to talk. We'll get you lined up with Manscaped.
They need to come out with a veteran package.
Ooh, there you go. That could be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, they got everything too. Like they got.
Do they have like like if your balls are dreadlocked up, do they got like a de-dreader for your balls?
The pube de-dreader?
The pube de-dreader.
Oh my
God. Imagine the R&D on that.
How do we get something that just will like untwist? Like how do we... No, but they got it all, dude. They got like...
They got the dingleberry remover?
They got like cologne. They got ball deodorant. They got
that smells so good.
Little trimming like nail kits and everything.
Because I'm the retard that screwed up and left the...
Well, so the ball reviver is like a spray. Yeah. And he was messing around and he like opened his mouth and like jokingly pretended to spray it, sprayed it right in his mouth.
Did your mouth go numb?
It did, but I didn't chafe.
No, it just smelled like a nice clean set of balls.
I mean,
your wife would be stoked, nice clean set of balls every night.
Worse. Jesus.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Dude, burning shit. Oh, man.
See, you could have used, used whatever you need out there.
It was wild times, dude. Like, I'm so glad I joined the Marine Corps during that time because, like, nowadays, I, like, fast forwarding to become, like, an instructor, right? And now we have this new generation.
Are you not allowed to wear, like, your medals and stuff anymore because it's intimidating to the new... Did they pass some bullshit or something like that?
I haven't heard that, but who knows? But, like,
Sounds like something that would happen nowadays.
Yeah.
When I was a student, right, we were stationed in Oceanside, California. I mean, Friday would come along, and you'd be gone. I mean, you'd make friends with your scribe. The scribe is who made the fire watch schedule for the whole weekend. You'd have to stand like a 2-hour post. Like, dude, you might have to stand it at like 6 o'clock in the evening.
It sounds so medieval. You're scribe, sir.
No, yeah, exactly, because it's the military. It's medieval as fuck. Like, they've not evolved anything. And so...
Go talk to the scribe.
That's what they're called, is a scribe. And so what we would do is Trizzle, he happened to be in our platoon. And he was one of the original guys that I was with. And he was our scribe at the schoolhouse. So we'd be like, yo, Trizzle, like, put us on, like...
Hook it up.
Like, Sunday at, like, midnight. So we had till Friday when they'd let us go, till Sunday at midnight.
To just get
Firewatch.
obliterated. crippled.
I mean, I'm talking like white girl wasted. I mean, we were just, it was insane.
White girl wasted.
Insane.
Just
But, dude, I mean, we
out.
would be sneaking girls into our, okay, so this is like my generation. You're living in a squad bay with 70 dudes, right?
Lot of dudes.
A lot of dudes, a lot of farts, a lot of smells, a lot of noises, fucking weird, right?
Smells like our hotel room
Just
last night.
ass, right? We'd be sneaking girls in the back, like, I mean, we'd be underage drinking. We'd be sneaking out, going across base. We were climbing over the barbed wire fence, sneaking off a base, like when we weren't allowed. Dude, then you fast forward like 6 years. Now I'm an instructor, right? Now I have my own platoon. I have my own students.
And you know all the all the little sneaky snake
so
rules.
I'd come in like as a staff sergeant. I always want to check on my guys, and you know, like my instructors were pit bulls, dude. These guys were straight like just wanted to murder students. So I always played the good cop, bad cop, and I'd come in and talk to my guys and like kind of like, okay, like this is where you fucked up, and I'll take care of you. I got your back,
that was bad, okay?
Yeah, that's bad. Let's don't do it again, okay? And so, but then I'd come back, dude. It'd be a Saturday afternoon. There'd be 60 kids in there. They all bought these little TVs and they wired all their wall lockers to like these, and they'd all play fucking video games all weekend.
He's coming in to check on people, and he's like, you had total flashbacks,
Like,
and you're like,
yo,
oh my God,
give me
oh my
controller,
God.
like tag me in. Like I got next. Are we
playing split
it was
screen
just
right now?
this
Is
new
it split screen?
generation, this new generation of young Marines, like they wouldn't leave. They would just be sitting there. I'm like, dude, it's like August. We're on Del Mar Beach. There's women everywhere. Like you're a young Marine, like and I'd rip the plugs out of walls. Like get the fuck out.
You're like, go get out and get drunk, please.
Exactly. Like go get in trouble.
Right?
Like, go do
something
Go be
bad.
a young Marine, and like they just want to sit there and play video games. And I was just like,
He
dude,
kicks him out of base and he brings in his own headset and his controller and plugs everything back.
Well,
Right? He's
yeah.
like, get out there, you piece of shit. Finally, a
Levels
little
this guy
peace and quiet.
the levels this guy. What level are we at? And
Oh my God, this guy's KD is horrible.
It's just different times now, man. Like, I mean, it's just insane what these kids. They would just sit there and play video games, and us. I mean, dude, they would be like, okay, you're cut out, and we would sprint. I'm talking the fastest we could run when they would relieve us on a Friday afternoon. You would be stripping your clothes off, running to your room and getting civilian clothes.
You're looking
as fast
like
as
a full
clothes.
Baywatch scene, like in
Dude,
slow
it'd be
motion,
strung
just
across the
ripping
parking
the
lot.
shirts off.
There's clothes just strung for like
No,
a half mile.
I'm not even kidding, because then they
They're
would
like, oh, the Marines must have just got out. There's just shit everywhere.
they would realize it, like, oh shit, we need 2 guys. They'd be like, hey, we need 2 volunteers. And if you were there, guess what? You just got snatched up. So now it was like a game, like, okay, we need to make it to your car in the next 3 minutes.
It's like the full like schoolhouse, like you're like sitting there like
The bell
waiting for
rings,
the bell to ring. You're like got backpack on, ready to
Yeah.
rip.
No, like last day of school. Imagine the last day of school and you're just watching.
The bell doesn't release you. I do. No. That's not how it works.
Linda,
I'm out.
Linda, listen.
I'm gone.
Listen, Linda. And so that's what it was like. And then nowadays, like you would release your students, and they'd be like, all right, guys, let's get on. We got fantasy football draft tonight. And I'd be like, get the fuck out of the squad. Go away. Just go have fun. Go be Marines. Get in trouble.
Fantasy
I don't even
football,
care.
my ass. You guys are getting obliterated tonight, and I don't care.
Dude, the one of the greatest stories of all time. I've never told this story on a podcast before.
Whole first
we got a
time
first.
ever
This is a
exclusive
first.
premiere.
This is gonna be your highlight reel right here.
Yes.
So
He's calling it out already. I love it.
I'm an instructor. I'm staff sergeant. I got a weekend duty, right? 24-hour post. You got to stand and just monitor the barracks or the squad base.
Sounds fun.
It's horrible. And so I'm putting my students to bed, right? Like I'd come in and like
Bedtime stories.
Yeah, I'd tell them bedtime stories, right? Like I'd fuck, you know, they'd all sit down, like, and they're young Marines, you know, they're so you could like mold these kids. They'd all sit like legs crossed, like,
Oh, what's the bedtime story
crisscross
today?
applesauce. Staff Sergeant Marshall's gonna tell us a story. Like, hurry up, sit down. Yeah, exactly. In the back, like, shh. So I walk in, I'm like, what's going on, guys? Like, what's new? Like, give me stories. And I'd have them tell me stories, like, 'cause I want to know what's going on with my troops, right? And like how the morale is and all that shit. Well, this kid comes up to me and he's like, Staff Sergeant, like, Private Johnson's got a fleshlight. I'm like, you need to go see it. And I'm like, a what? He's like, a fleshlight. I'm like, the fuck is a fleshlight? No, I'm like legitimately like, what the fuck?
What are you talking about? What is
And like, there's other students, like these other ones, like, yeah, you gotta go look at it. I'm like, first off, what the fuck is a flashlight? It's like a big pocket pussy. Then it's like shaped like a flashlight. I'm like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make any sense. what? And I'm like, well, let's see what
You're like,
this
well,
is.
I need to see this now.
Let's go.
Yes.
Research.
So like, they're like, okay, come on. So they like walk me halfway back to the squad bay.
They're like grabbing your hand.
Yeah,
Come
like,
on.
come on. Like, wait. They're like, hey, like Private Johnson, staff sergeant's coming. And I'm like,
Private Johnson.
and like now like kids are like getting out of the racks and like they're all like giggling. And I'm like, what the fuck is a flashlight? Like, am I old now? Like, am I like the old school guy? I don't know I'm not hip. Like, I don't know what a flashlight. Like, what the fuck's a flashlight? And so he's like laying in his rack, and I'm like, let's see it. He's like, oh, come on, guys, like, come on. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, let me see what.
Pull it out.
Like, let me see this flashlight. He's like, it's not a flashlight, it's a flashlight. I'm like,
It's a flashlight.
like, okay, like now I really need to see this thing. He's like, all right. And he like sits up. And he reaches under his pillow.
I thought you were gonna say he like pulled it out, like he was using it when you showed up. I was about to be like, whoa.
No, bro. So he like sits up and like pulls this giant black like thing out from his pillow, and I'm like looking at it. He's on the top rack, so like I'm almost eye level with him, right? And I'm like, the fuck is that thing? And I'm like staring at
What
it.
backlight is that?
Yeah, I'm like, that's a big ass flashlight. Like, how many lumens is that? Like,
A car battery in that thing? What's going on?
like, how do you charge? What the fuck is this? And I'm like trying to like process the situation, right? Like, okay, like it's a big ass flashlight. Like, how much does that thing cost? She's like, no. He's like, they're like, show him. So he like grabs the end, he like starts unscrewing this thing, and
You're
I'm like,
whoa, hold on.
okay, here comes the lens. It's gonna be like a big laser beam thing. Like,
Here comes the lens.
He's like-
the lens cap.
he's like pops it off, and lo and behold, there's his pocket pussy. Like, and I'm like, oh, a flashlight. Like, and I'm like, they're like, you don't know what this is, and I'm like, should I? Like, am I missing out? Like, how do my students know what this amazing creation is? And I don't. Like, dude, I'm over here just jerking off, like old school. I'm like, dude, my whole life was a lie.
Right, you're like, what?
And so I'm like, let me see. What the hell is it? Like, explain this. And I'm like, yeah, like, no, staff sergeant, like, didn't like what I do. And like, these kids are like getting into it. And he's like, yeah, I'll just let like warm water run in it. And like warms it up. And then I'll just go in the shower. I'm like, wait, like the shower's here? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, the showers that don't have curtains, like the open showers, like this is where you're doing. They're like,
This dude is just railing,
dudes.
Like, hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
These dudes are sharing this shit. Like,
They're passing it around.
They're sharing it, right?
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like, pause, time out, like,
Those
stop.
guys are Eskimo bros with a
Yes.
flashlight.
No,
Oh
this
my
story,
God.
this story makes a turn for the worst.
Hold on.
What was the chlamydia rate after though?
Dude, so then this other guy's like, yeah, I got one. Oh, I use so-and-so's. And I'm just like, wait. So like, now it's like a thing. And I'm like, wait, let me.
There's
I'm
like a flashlight crew.
Yes, I'm like, pull this thing out. I gotta see this thing. So this kid is on the top rack, keep in mind. So he's got this thing on the edge, and he's like this. And he's like going, and he's like trying to get this pocket pussy out of the container. It's like
suction in it.
it's like and he's like trying to get this thing out. While this is happening, his rack mate is below him like this. Like looking out and up, right? Like, yeah, that's it. Like I use it too. Dude. To set the picture, most of the lights are off, but the back lights are still on. So it's kind of like dim in there. So this kid's leaning over his back.
No, I know where this
And
is.
this kid in the bottom's like, yeah.
Show him.
Dude. And as he's jiggling it, this glob,
No.
I'm gonna gag. This glob is working out the end of it, dude, in slow motion.
No.
Shoot.
He's just sitting out there like, yeah, this is awesome. No, it goes in his mouth.
It's the dude in the back of the throat. This kid sits up and exorcist like all over himself, all over the floor,
God.
dude. I immediately start dry. I'm a like a sympathetic puker, so somebody
too.
starts.
Yeah,
I'm about to gag. Just think of this. So I start dry heaving, dude. I'm running, like tiptoeing, trying to avoid piles. Then it starts this chain reaction of kids just throwing up, dude, all over a flashlight.
He's like, that's it. No more flashlights.
Turn
No
the
more
lights
flashlights.
off. Clean this shit up. I am fucking out of here. It was one of the most horrific things I have ever witnessed, dude. It was horrible, man.
That's
my.
insane.
So that was my first introduction to a flashlight. And I've never looked at one again. I've been traumatized.
You're absolutely traumatized. You're like, nope,
Traumatized, man.
Nope.
You guys need to get your shit together, all right?
You guys need a catch cup in those things.
Dude, it was wild.
I can't believe they were sharing this thing.
Yeah, dude, it was wild times.
Hey, you
The
gotta
Marine Corps is
do
the
what you gotta
most-
do, you know.
There's a bunch of dudes that just like get burned so bad when they pee, and they're like, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah. Seriously.
Like, what do you do too? Like,
Dude,
you're
I
like,
had a buddy that
you're
gave
hey, I'm
like
about to
10
go shower,
chicks.
dude.
This kid that was in our platoon gave like 10 girls chlamydia, and they were calling him. No, he's a young Marine, and he was a good looking dude. This dude slayed, right? He just crushed. Well, he starts getting all these phone calls, and like every time we'd be with him, and these girls would call like, "You gave me chlamydia." He'd always be on the phone like, "I ain't got any symptoms. You're crazy." Like, screaming at him. And then one day I was like, "Yo, like Mike, like guys can have chlamydia and like not have."
Any symptoms?
not have symptoms.
He's like, what? And then Boater, Aaron, my buddy that's in Coeur d'Alene, he's like, yeah, dude. Like, he's like, I guarantee you have chlamydia.
Smart guy over there.
Judging by my calculations.
You've had 10 women call you over the last month, and it takes 2 weeks to kick it. Like, he's like giving the whole entire WebMD breakdown. We're like, Renfro. Oh, I just said his last name. You might want to bleep that out. Fuck him, who cares? Renfro. His name's Mike Renfro. So, dude, you should look this guy up, bro. He's got tats on his face. Like, you would never think this guy was a Marine. He looks like the wild. He does hair. He's a hairstylist now. Like, just wild guy. Anyways, we're like, Renfro, go to medical, go to BAS and get tested. Comes back the next day, like 2 days later, he's like, yep,
I got it. Yep, I got it.
He's like, yeah, fuck all those bitches anyways.
I'm not calling him back and telling him though.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Dude, this dude ended up getting like MRSA in his knee, and they had to like, he pulled out like 6 feet of medical gauze out of his knee, that this hole that he would like, dude, he was a dirty bird. He was gross.
MRSA, dude.
Gross, dude.
How often do you hear MRSA when we get MRSA? Like, that's just like
Him, Renfro had MRSA.
He's got gout.
Dude, he had
Like,
everything.
how did you even
he
get
had
that?
everything, dude.
he had
He
everything.
just ran it through the whole list.
He was grody. Thank
He's
God.
like he went on WebMD and he's like, let's see what
He's
else I
the
can
guy that
get.
if you had the room with, you'd be like,
You just
like-
you just got a penicillin. It's like a
dude,
tube of
his
penicillin.
You're like, I'm getting a staph infection, no doubt.
Bro, this guy ended up hooking up with this chick from the PX, the commissary. Did he say?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I don't know.
Oh. We ended up, this guy ended up hooking up. I think he didn't think he knew we were in here. This guy ends up hooking up with this chick from the PX, and she was so big, we called her Java the Slut. She looked like, dude, he said when he pulled her panties off of her, he threw them. He said it sounded like a parachute hitting the ground.
Oh,
Dude, that's the type of guy this Mike Renfro was. Like, he was a character, but
my God.
dude, the Marine Corps was the wildest thing I've ever done in my life. Like, it was insane. Like, the stories that I'm gonna write a book one day, and it's just gonna be.
dude, I want to read.
These
this
are
book.
just like
let's
just a
get
couple
this
little,
going.
These aren't even the good ones, man. It is just insane.
know.
Like,
We
I'm
need
gonna
more-
sit down with like all my buddies, and we're gonna like have like a reunion and just talk one day.
I wish we
about it.
had more time to like actually
I
go
know.
through.
We can do it again.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
we'll
we're gonna
have
have
to do this again.
again.
This has been insanity.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't even know how long we're going on. To this
I think we're at like an
podcast.
hour and a half
yeah,
already. Yeah.
we're wasting your day away. But we'll,
You got to get to Oregon.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah. What is work? What do you mean now?
Just gotta walk in the back office, but
We'll throw in a couple because this is an ongoing thing that we got going on, and we'll do a couple would you rather's just so we can let you get back to work,
all right,
not hold you here too long.
all right.
Matt, you have anything?
Oh yeah.
You want to start her out?
You know, just because Bam lives the political life. So would you rather be stuck on a cross-country road trip with Kamala Harris or Joe Biden? Just you
Biden all day.
Just you and Biden in the car all day.
100%.
All day.
I would love to just talk to him.
Hey, let's be honest. That would be an interesting conversation because, like, he'd be like, "Oh, well, let me tell you something real quick."
Yeah, no.
What was I saying real
I
quick?
would just give him an edible and just sit back and watch.
Oh my God! Right?
Yeah, dude, I 100% all day. Kamala or whatever, she's a worthless piece of shit. Biden, he is too, but at least he's entertaining. I can at least have a good time with that.
You'd have a good time.
I would have some stories. I would have stories from it. I'd be like, oh my God.
You'd have a good time with a little dirty Joe.
I got this dude to open up to so much shit. Like, I know I could. I know I could.
You just have therapy session with Biden in the car and just know
Yeah, he'd be the best listening
cross-country
partner.
road trip.
Insanity.
Yeah, I'd Biden all
He'd be
day.
the best listening partner. Kamala would just have you like on like a feminist movement
She
the
used
whole
to be a
time.
cop. Who wants to take a road trip with a prior cop? No. judging everything.
Hey, speaking of cop, Matt actually got pulled over last night on the way here.
Did you? Did you get a ticket?
No, I don't know how he didn't, but
if you go to Sun Valley, you get off at Mountain Home, which I'll keep calling Motorhome, on Highway 20, and you head out. There's no one on this road, dude. No one. So I'm mobbing just coming back to Boise last night.
We weren't really flying.
No, I wasn't even really going that bad. I was doing like 85 on that road, just kind of cruising, you know? And then like every time I saw cars coming, I would kind of slow it down a little bit. So like we're going, all of a sudden like this car, and like I'm seeing it slowing down. I slow down a little bit, and like I go by and I just see it like hit the brakes. I'm like, and it goes, whoop! I'm like, damn it, that's a cop.
Worst.
Yeah, he like comes up to the truck.
Matt straight got rolled.
Yeah,
I do not have the best luck with cops.
He's like, you know how fast you were going? I was like, no, just on cruise control right now. He's like, you're doing 83. I'm like, oh.
Hey, he pulls the he's like, do you know how fast the speed limit is? And he's like, no, sorry, man. Like, I had no idea. Because, I mean, there isn't signs on the side of the road, like, telling you.
No,
so he's like, no idea. And the guy's like, he hands him the, his license and everything back. And he's like, all right, well, let's just, slow it down a little bit. Keep her going, okay? And we're like, cool, thank you, appreciate it. Then he flips his phone back on with maps on, and there's a big thing in the corner saying speed limit 65.
Google Maps it displays the speed limit.
We're like,
good
sorry.
thing my phone was sitting upside down.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Oh my God.
Man.
All right, but because we were talking about this the other night when we went to dinner, and your love for zoos, would you rather have to live in an amusement park or a zoo? Like that, you have to live in one.
That's a tough one. I feel like an amusement park would be fun, but it would get annoying.
It would get old.
Right.
It would get old. Then I feel super bad for like animals in cages, so I wouldn't want to see. Right. But then I feel like I can play with them.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like if you lived in a zoo, you can like when everyone leaves and everyone's gone,
it's
probably
like the gayest answer. Like
that's not at all because that's what I was thinking too.
It sounds so like green and tree huggerish, but like.
I could just love all the animals, man.
It's so funny coming from like somebody. I love killing shit. Like I love hunting, right? But I hate zoos and I hate like anything where they're cage animals. So I feel like I would be in there like playing with otters and shit all
That's
night.
what I'm saying.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's not a horrible answer at all.
SeaWorld, I'd go with, or not SeaWorld, but just I'd live in.
I live in the zoo.
Yeah, the zoo all day long.
A zoo or SeaWorld, yeah.
I'd just be playing with the gorillas.
I'd be like trying to kick it with like snow leopards and shit at night.
Things swatting at you and you're like, we get it. All right, mellow out.
Dude, we're fam. Like, I'm just trying to feed you.
I live here too, bro.
Yeah, I'm here with you.
Only fan.
I feel like I would live in a zoo just because it's more chill and I can play with the animals and give them like yo, what's up? Like orangutans.
I can give
like,
the animals the love that they deserve.
I know. I'd just be kicking it with orangutans every night. Like
they don't let Bam in the elk preserve though. He's just sitting there with his bow.
Murking. Right? Yeah, there's a giant
bow drawn, and you're like, no. You live here too. You can't do that.
I need to eat.
All right.
Yeah, so I'd pick a zoo.
He's hunting with the lions.
Yeah.
He's letting lions in other cages.
I'm out there with them crawling around, like letting open the gazelle and shit. Like get him.
He's like, roar.
They come back in the morning, things are just massacred everywhere. Just like battle royales.
Weren't the lions in the cage? Yeah, but Bam wasn't. Bam wasn't caged last night. He was out roaming.
Bam out of his cage.
Figured out the age-old question: a gorilla will fuck a lion up.
Yeah, he's over there just doing like low key like UFC zoo fights,
streaming them.
Yeah, he's like
he's on OnlyFans.
You guys want to see an orangutan fight a giraffe?
All right, I'm gonna let the audience vote tonight. Crocodile versus alligators.
He's putting up a poll on Instagram. Who's gonna take it?
Only guy on OnlyFans, by the way, just has a zoo page. Just only guy.
Yeah, that's your OnlyFans page. Hey, subscribe and you get exclusive content of orangutans fighting snow leopard.
I feel like the lights and the noises and the sound of a carnival or whatever amusement park would get old real fast.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
You can only win so many stuffed animals.
You're like, I'm gonna blow up the carousel if it goes off one more time.
Go 47 times upside down on this roller coaster.
Yeah. He's just on the roller coaster with zero emotion, just like because he does it every day. He's just like, oh boy, here comes the loop again.
Well, yeah.
Sick. Oh my god.
For the picture.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm dead inside.
Hanging out with a lion would never get old.
Oh my god.
Oh man,
right.
That was a good one.
I thought that was gonna be like a mediocre one that actually turned out pretty solid.
Yeah.
You got one off the top of your head?
I'm sure I could think of one.
Give us an off the top real quick. We'll give you a second to think of one.
I got one.
Right.
Okay.
Would you rather lick a homeless person's butt crack and armpit.
Ooh.
The same homeless person?
Same homeless person. Top of the butt crack. I'm not talking in butt crack. Top of butt crack.
So like on the lower back side or on the ball sack side? Like are we going upper
Back.
taint? Okay, so
Like where like the tail starts.
Yeah.
Yes, but you gotta lick like a
You
solid
gotta
3 inches.
You gotta tongue credit card the
top.
Oh, oof.
Or full armpit, from bottom armpit to top of armpit.
Dude, that is, I don't even know. That's just horrible either way. I feel like I gotta go armpit just because, like,
Yeah. Less poop particles.
way less danger of dingle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I don't
Could
want
you
no
imagine getting
dingleberry.
Ugh.
Nah.
No
way.
I'm thinking that right now. I'd gag.
Like, I would absolutely be disgusting to do an armpit still.
My buddy, so armpit.
Yeah, armpit.
I'm going armpit.
Yeah.
I'm going armpit for sure.
So my buddy
Staying away from the
my buddy's
booty hole.
EMT, right? He's a paramedic, or not EMT, but a paramedic. And he got a call one day to this woman that was passed out on the sidewalk. They ended up getting her and bringing her in. They said when they went to remove her clothing in the hospital, they had to cut. She had defecated so much, and it froze.
no.
And it froze, but it like seeped through her clothes, so it was like froze from her clothes to her skin. That they had to like try to cut it, and they had to like warm water melt it and peel it off. He said it was one of the worst things he's ever had to deal with. He said he legitimately almost changed careers because of that one.
That
time.
would
I would
probably,
I would have quit that day too. I would.
That's why I
quit.
give so much props to people like that, man.
Yeah,
He's like-
healthcare
he's
workers.
like, I just had to-
Good for them.
I just had to defrost a doo-doo for
Yeah,
doo-doo
he said it was
popsicle.
horrible.
That's gnarly.
I know guys. I met doctors before, like going through the rotations. They'll be in the OR, and like some like nasty like prostitute or something will come in, and the things they pull out of it and stuff like that. They're just like, what the dude? A girl was in the OR the other day. She's like, do you want to see a penis or a fork in the guy's penis? I'm like, no, not really. Then she just comes back with an X-ray. She's like, yep, that's what a fork looks like in a guy's dick. And I'm like, no, like all the way.
How did that happen? Like, was that like an angry ex-girlfriend or something? Just
No, he put it in there for like, I guess
he did it?
Yeah, he not fork in first. Fork in was, he did shaft first with the fork at the bottom. But I still am like,
Wow.
apparently it's an erotic thing, and I'm like, yeah. See, again, like shitting on your chest,
Hard
like
pass.
who's like, I'm gonna go shove a fork up my dick.
There's some weird people in the world,
There are
man.
some weird.
You know who
weird
does that?
people.
The same guy that wants to shit on somebody.
Right?
They
He's
took
on that same.
Y.
He's on that same
They
level.
took that Y and
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Teach their
All
own, I
right.
guess.
Well, this has been awesome, dude. We don't want to keep you too long and let you get back to work, but
We're gonna do this again.
We're gonna have to do this
Yeah.
again because the stories are absolutely insane. But
Be sure to
everybody-
follow Bam.
yeah,
It's
go ahead
Bam
and give,
Bam.
Go ahead and give them your Insta.
0069.
Bam Bam 069 on Instagram.
0069.
Okay.
Bam
It's
Bam
nothing
0069. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you go on some Instagram rants. I
I do
heard.
go on some good rants.
So
Yeah, if you want to see some straight humor
Yeah.
and some quality entertainment of him trolling every now and then and calling people out that
I do.
roll, dude, it's so good.
he's all okay.
I'm not proud of it,
You're
but sometimes
right,
it just
you're
builds up and I got to say something. So,
But-
it usually
And
gets
then
me in
follow
trouble.
Griptech. It's
Yeah.
spelled with a K.
Yeah.
Kryptk.
EK.
EK.
And
Griptech.
check out your foundation.
Wish
that
is
you
the
got
number
too.
4warriors.org. If you guys want to go on there and check it out, if you're a vet and you are 50% combat wounded or more, that's kind of our criteria. I wanted to make sure when we set that up, I wanted to make sure the guys that were on the front lines and guys and girls that were on the front lines got taken care of first. And so starting that, when I implemented, started our program, that was kind of like the big thing behind it. I wanted to make sure guys and girls that were out kicking indoors, been through some shit, didn't have to wait in line.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah. So if you guys know anyone that's looking for
you
some
can
help
nominate.
too,
You could actually nominate loved ones,
Yeah.
family
sick.
members, things like that. We allow them to do it, and then Jesse, he'll reach out, and so there's lots of ways to
Perfect.
be able to do it.
Awesome. Well, this was a rad episode. Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thanks
bringing
for
us in.
coming by.
Yeah.
And we'll do something soon for
Yeah.
sure. Thanks, guys.
Later,
See ya.
guys.